Hey folks, just getting this started. Part 2 of JCT versus brrak. Now live. So if you are just tuning in, we left off last time with some skirmishing over the central city site. Moria had cleared it, and then Babylon pushed in and attacked. Babylon also has peace with the Danes. They interestingly took it before clearing that site. And yeah, Moria, however, has a pretty big tech advantage. Babylon is primitive towards them, and also has 4 laws, or 5 laws even, to Moria to Babylon's 1. We indeed see an assault elephant coming out. Babylon does have a spear. Yeah, so just players easing back into the game here. Yeah, so we've got Assault Elephant, really, really nice, already strong here. Power of Patrons. Did have that elephant in the cap, so really love to see that production there. And already have an elephant moving this way. He did put his judge leader on it because Babylon has a tactician. Hey, Barbara. Indeed, YouTube gaming content. Awesome stuff. Love it. Babylon has a tactician. Tacticians, of course, can stun. Of course, they cannot stun leaders, which is why he put his leader, because this is a leader general. And you can see that here. That says leader general, immune from panic, tactician, general leader, stun, being disarmed, grappled. So, and also gets 1 extra move. So it moves a little bit further. Zoom, zoom. Yeah, just winding down after a long day with a good old world stream as our tournament continues. We've got some pretty good progress. I think we kicked off last Wednesday, so almost a week ago, and we have 17 out of 31 matches complete already. Or 16 out of 31, something like that. 17 out of 32, including our bye. And most matches are now underway. We have a couple that still need to get started. So yeah, we're making great progress. This is round 1 of Swiss. We'll have we'll have 4 more rounds, 2 more with everyone playing, and then just folks who have not yet gotten their 3 wins will play. And then we'll have a round of 32 after that, single elimination bracket. So it'll be really interesting and fun. Looks like they did restart the timer, so should be getting underway here. Yeah. All right, some nice upgrades using that training. Getting strike, and also herbalism, which interesting choice there. We have a couple skirmishers. Moria is at war with the Thracians, so are the Babylonians. This game may turn very quickly here because we're going to see Moria push in, and they lost that initial skirmish. If we look at the military score graph, we see some troops dying and Babylon taking the lead, but it's still relatively early, and Moria again has that pretty enormous tech advantage, 63 science a turn, compared to brak's 38 a turn. So, and of course, having a unique unit, looks like they decided to get a scribe here and delay their elephant. Maybe they want a little bit more civics. They have some. I would have loved to see them rush out that elephant personally. All right, it's now Babylon's turn. Players are playing on a slow timer, which is totally fine. dealing with some rebels here. Babylon has some family opinion issues. No religion yet. I think they were working on a rancher somewhere, if I remember right. Maybe? No? Maybe I think might be hallucinating rancher. Do they have a husbandry? They do. Yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm curious to see how this one will go. Babylon did a nice job sort of winning the initial tactical encounter. I think the challenge is they just don't have an answer to assault elephants apart from the spear. And they don't have phalanx. That spear, I think, is from... I'm not sure where this spear came from, because it's not a mercenary spear, because it has a family. But yeah, I don't know where that spear came from, honestly. I thought mercenary spears are always not of a family, but maybe there was some event that gave them a family spear. It is not their capital, so not sure. So yeah, would love to see some influences from Babylon. As well as, I don't think they have Zoro either. They don't have Div, so they don't have that. So, and yeah, Babylon has founded the center city. We'll see if they hold that, or if they just gifted a city to Moria. So this is one of those situations where it may actually be worth going walls. Of course, you don't have walls, because walls require polis. So, yeah, worker feels aspirational. I would probably just slam a military unit here. Realistically, this city is going to be on repair damage very shortly. Okay-ish vision from Babylon. They can tell here that they may have seen the elephant walking by. Yeah, they click this hostile elephant visible. But this should be pretty interesting here. We left off last session right at the beginning of potential combat, and we had that little bit of a skirmish, and Moria pulled back wisely. They did lose some forces, but they retreated with the rest, which is always a right choice. And now they're going to punch back. And yeah, I would really love to see a rushed assault elephant. They could have rushed one last turn. Yeah, they have like 800 civics on the Moria side. But yeah, we'll see here. Some events can become extravagant or just take discipline, and the sandstorm is done. So, all right, brrak is pausing here, which is totally fine. Because again, for the first turn. Yeah, no worries, Cyan. You've casted a ton. I've got some chamomile tea here right next to me as well. Keep those vocal cords in their sweet, soothing tones, right? We got a lot of casting ahead of us. Yeah, the marsh is kind of interesting here as well. It's a great feature to point out. This really makes it a lot trickier to get over this terrain, just kind of snares stuff down. So you kind of have this narrow poke and like narrow choke, and then I guess you can go over these hills, which are also kind of slow, and then there's kind of this nice open plain here. But Mario just seems like they're just going to be like, we're just going to go in. Also some desert here, marsh and desert. Really interesting map. I really like this wide CRB script. It's a little slow. Okay, I really like this wide CRB script. Your opponent will not be at your throat at turn 30, usually. So, yeah. All right, so Babylon is leaving to go clear the Danish site, which feels like you've just founded this city for Moria to take. I don't know. We will see. That may not be the right call. Would really like to see some roading. We do have this trader, which did do some beautiful roads here. So really, really nice road. Would love to see some more roads to be able to reinforce this city. Maybe something like this, going around those marshes, avoiding the desert. Yeah. CRB is kind of a classic map. Yes, I don't think they can safely kill the Danes. Also, they have peace with the Danes. So, yeah, I think one critique, if I can make, of Babylon is they almost had cleared the Danes, and I didn't see the event that they got that gave them peace, but they took peace like when the camp was almost dead. And generally, that's usually not a good idea because you've almost cleared the camp. You might as well just clear the camp. I think there's like a 5-year prevention of being able to declare war. If you're peaced, if I remember, like you literally cannot break peace for 5 years. So you can kind of get stuck. So maybe they were forced to by an event. I'm not sure what event would have enforced that. So in general, my POV is like, Peace with tribes can be very powerful. If you have peace and your opponent doesn't, they will always raid you, assuming they've met your. They will always raid your opponent, assuming they've met both of you. So yeah, maybe there was some good event. I don't see a blushing Danish bride. So yeah, no super spouse to get peace, but it is going to be a little tricky to clear that camp. I feel there's going to be a 4th unit spawning. The units are pretty gnarly at this point. That's a 5 strength, a 5 strength, a 4 strength. He's still on 1 spear. Some slingers obviously can stun, but yeah. And of course, Maria is not just going to sit there and let him go clear the camp. He's going to come attack the city. So he could get, honestly, it's in his interest to keep peace with the Danes so that they raid Maria and don't raid him. Because right now, all the fighting is over in Lagash, and I think this is something we've talked about a bunch on the Discord, and that's that when you are in a situation where you've met your opponent, where you have a border and no sites in between, right? When this site was neutral, there was still, you now have pressure, right? Because you have to defend this site because your opponent can pressure this site at any time. You can't just completely leave the city because they'll just walk in and take it. So that means you're now anchoring your forces, which is why I would have really liked to see Babylon clear this, settle this, and then they can anchor this similar to the way Moria doesn't have any back clearing to do. Moria does not have any vision. You can see their scout is down here hanging out with this Thracian. So they don't know that Babylon has moved away. I would love to see this scout move. Unfortunately, there's no real great forest apart from this little patch here, which I think is now in Babylon's borders. That patch is, this one is not, so that forest would be the correct place for them to place their scout. They may not realize that. It is a forced march either way. So we'll see where they move there. I'm also surprised the scout is not getting obliterated by this Thracian. Oh, because it's an organized tribal raider attacking brrak, because he did take that tribal invasion. And that's actually why Moria was originally able to settle, to capture this site, because all the units moved off towards Babylon. That's another downside of tribal invasions. Tribal invasions, of course, sometimes give you that sweet, sweet 10 legitimacy, but they will also move all the units towards your opponent, which can be tricky. Yeah, you've got 937 civics. You can totally rush this elephant for 400 civics. And it's worth doing so because the power spike of getting this elephant now versus waiting 9 or 10 turns to get the elephant is really big. 2 elephants, much better than 1 elephant. Obviously, these spears, there's only 1 spear. You'll want to focus and kill this spear as quickly as possible, and then nothing can touch this elephant. Slingers do basically no damage to this elephant, and warriors aren't going to do much more either. The reason slingers don't do very much damage is because this elephant has assault, and assault is 25% defense against ranged unit, and also huge damage against urban, so you actually do not want to stand on urban tiles if you're facing assault elephants or battering rams. So machinery coming up, that means, again, Moria has a huge tech advantage. They see Babylon as primitive to them. They're similar. At this point, they don't need to push in, but they want to press their advantage. Having an onager or 2, having 2 or 3 elephants, having 3 or 4 spears, that's a force that can just kind of like set up an onager and then be able to bombard the city, put some spears here, have some elephants standing by, and this onager can just hit this city all day. And what is Babylon going to do about it? And if you get 2 onagers and like put some spears here and just get the onagers here, obviously there's no real convenient hills. You could potentially locate onto these hills and put some spears around here with elephants supporting here. Like you want spears screening for your onagers, and so your onagers is defended. I would love to see some roading. But yeah, let's see what Babylon does here. End of an era. They lost their king, so awkward timing for that to happen. They could make truce with the Thracians, get peace with the Thracians, or keep the land. There's not many Thracians left. There's 1 Thracian here, and 1 Raider Thracian here. There's no other Thracians on the map. And then they could, they have a dog, yay for being a dog owner, and they could get charisma or training. I would probably recommend the charisma, given they're at -1 charisma, but they are a tactician. So they replaced a tactician with a tactician. So always nice to see, but they're no longer warlike or swift, which is less ideal. And their tactician, okay, just got reassigned to this unit. Always want to have your leader on a unit or as a general. And yeah, this is a really good CRV. It's not dry. I think dual wide is right. Tiny ultra wide is just too big. Even I will concede that. Like strategically, I should have picked tiny ultra wide because like it's the absolute max distance, but I was like, I'm not going to do that to myself. And also to our viewers. And this tournament around, you don't get to pick your maps. The maps are picked for you and randomly, which is really great for the viewers because we've got lots of variety. Players both know ahead of time what the map is, so if they want to practice or train on the map, they're very welcome to do so. The map, of course, is different every time, but like they know what script it is, and that can be really helpful. The maps are also pretty varied. We've got 18 different map scripts. Everything from a lush desert to a completely deserty desert to a mountain pass to an archipelago to coastal rain base and stalwarts like inland sea to the new Dota maps with 3 lanes. There's a lot of variety here for viewers and players, and that we hope that this will make this a true test of skill for the old world duel scene. Questions welcome from chat. If there's anything you want to see, I can do a quick rundown. We see pretty even military score, science, significant advantage at this point for Moria, almost 700 points of advantage, and just order advantage as well. Yeah, and if we look at worker turns, Moria is massively out-ecoing Babylon 229 to 86, and improvements 58 to 26. So all signs point towards Moria. They just kind of overstretched a little bit and weren't able to handle the pressure and the tactician from Babylon and did lose that initial skirmish. But they are in a dominant position in this game, largely riding off those 5 laws. Again, would really love to see that elephant rushed out, especially if they're sitting on that many civics. Yeah, and also would love to see this scout move around and get some vision because you have no idea what's going on. I think this is the only scout from Moria. And Babylon does look like they're going to commit to killing this, which given their order economy makes me a little worried because when Moria comes in, you do not want to have just attack the Danes. You like that's going to be the worst possible timing. But, you know, they've got this settler and they're ready to go. Moria also has a settler here ready to go. And there's just one site left here. All right, let's see if we see any. And there's also a Moria also, now Moria's leader started 10 years ago or so. God's Consort event, I think, like has some positive things that happen if when your consort dies. I don't know whether the event's worth taking. 5 orders is a lot, and like charisma is really good, and your queen being disappointed, not great, but obviously, yeah. So this is exactly, Sean. I think this is part of the value of scouting, right? If Moria had a scout here and a scout here, instead of the scout being down here, like ideally, like even on a map like this, 2 scouts is worth it. And their families, by the way, are patrons, hunters, and sages, which is a pretty interesting combination. I think the beautiful thing about Moria is they have so many different family combinations. So if they had vision here and here, they would know what this city looks like, and they would know where Babylon's armies are, and they could actually wait for Babylon to engage the Danes and then move in exactly after the Danes have engaged. Okay, thank you, Scion. Encyclopedia of all events. The end result of God's Consort can give you a project in a city that gives you 2 orders per turn. I think that is gated by the consort dying, which may take a long time. So I don't know that I would pay 5 orders now to get 2 orders per turn in like 20 turns or 30 turns at the cost of not getting 1 charisma now. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Obviously, having your wife be called God's Consort is pretty sweet. So there are points for that. All right, Babylon just researched drama. Their choices are polis, spoked wheel, navy, and architecture. Would really love to see navy, given their order pressure. They are Babylon. They're going to need to get more orders. Spoked wheel solves that, or sorry, navigation solves that for them. Predicament. They are going in on this Danish site. So also an event here. Their ambition choice, 2 foreign cities, which seems a little ambitious. 20 urban improvements, probably not happening if you have 3, and 20 specialists, probably not happening if you have 9, right? Those are all, and in fact, you do not have these ambitions fulfilled. They only fulfill the 6 farm ambition, and Moria has vision here, so they actually do have a second scout, but they don't have their scouts well positioned. This scout on the opponent's capital, not really that valuable right now. Eventually you will want a scout here so that you can make an agent network in the opponent's capital, but you don't necessarily need it there. It's totally fine to park it, but just build another scout. Like you don't want to like move this scout back and forth. Like the scout's here. It's fine to leave it. But you want to build some other scouts to get vision. Hmm. I said there was no blushing Danish bride, and actually there is. It looks like this is the price of peace, and why Babylon made peace with the Danes, because his king got to marry Queen Consort Hetha, who, 3 courage, she's a hero, and she's deceitful. I'm not sure I would make peace with a tribe I'd only almost conquered to get a Danish wife. But there's no accounting for the vagaries of love. See his tech choice as well here. Continuing to order up, build some workers. Really like this road network. Would love to see a little bit more roading to this city, although I don't know at this point like if that's even a good idea, because eventually this city is going to be a Moria city, so then you've just made a road to them. But yeah, Babylon does feel like they are quite a bit behind, 42 science compared to 72. And yes, he may need to imprison his wife if he war decks. So new directions, that was the ambition thing that we talked about. So yeah, again, this is round 1 of Swiss. So players, we attempted to seed so we'd have like some distribution. We tried to make it so that the most skilled players, or the players that we thought were most skilled, which were not always the same thing, were top seeded. So they would face folks who are in the mid tier. But obviously we don't know everyone's rating, and it does feel like, just from evaluating playstyle right here, JCT seems to have a little bit more experience in the game. I have not played with brrak, but just the difference in science and worker improvements, and some of the tactical decisions as well. Although, again, hats off to brrak. He took this city, he won the tactical fight, but it's gonna, like, taking a city is one thing, but holding it is another. Yeah, I actually have a cloud duel going on with JCT right now, where he's also playing Moria, and I am playing Yuzi, and yeah, he's doing a great job pressuring me. Rush Elephant, great. Let's see if he remembers to do that. He's doing a great job pressuring me, and I don't know how that game will go. So he's got good fundamentals, and fundamentals take you a long way, because Old World is a snowball game. You get that snowball rolling, you make right choices on turn 5. Those choices echo onwards and forever dominate your destiny. Make bad choices on turn 5, same thing. They echo onwards and forever dominate your destiny, and it's harder to recover and come back from it. All right. Missed the events. We are a little bit low on wood. Personally, I don't really love grabbing machinery before forestry, just because 50 wood, you can chop it. It is stone upkeep, so it's not impossible to maintain it, but it's going to be a lot of chopping, and like, you're going to start paying orders for every onage, or you're going to turn money into it. So like, if you have good money, as he does, maybe it's okay. I do really like getting forestry before machinery, personally. For sure before ranges, because ranges do take upkeep, wood upkeep. So you do not want to suddenly find yourself at minus 20 wood a turn and be required to chop. So yeah. And archers, of course, also take wood upkeep. So like, do not take compo without forestry unless you're doing a timing rush and are planning to end the game soon. Monasteries, I think you probably want to get forestry before then as well, if you can. And land consolidation tends to be a really, really good science tech on most maps. Not on this one, though. I don't see any groves. So maybe not on this one, but it's hard. Okay, there's 2 groves down here. Not very many groves. Ebony is not a grove. It is a lumber mill. 7. Yeah, that's another precious resource. So, but his other choices are monasticism, scholarship, or free. Pair of assault elephants, which honestly would not have been a bad pick, because you can get double assault elephants. He has moved the scout up to this forest over here, so he's beginning to poke a little bit. This is a little dangerous to move a unit out like this. And but Babylon doesn't see it, and Babylon may actually get a grace period here to be able to take out the Danes. We will find out. City planning. This is a special event that unlocks the city planning win condition, that if you mark every tile in every city and plan all your improvements, you win the game. No, I'm kidding. That's something I probably should not do to every tile for everything. This is an interesting event. 3 citizens, but you take an ambition to control 30 population, which, I mean, your ruler's relatively young, possible, and sewer system is pretty good. Or 3 citizens, take slums. I think I probably would take 3 slums because I just feel like 30 pop is going to be tough to get. You should get there, especially as Babylon, but I don't know. Like every worker slows that down, and yeah, 30 pop is going to take a while. It took you 54 years to 20 pop, so let's say it'll take you another 25 years. You bet this leader is going to live 25 years? I don't know. And there's not really anything you can do to speed it up. So it's kind of one of those ambitions that's kind of like a ticking time bomb over your head. Hopefully it'll finish, but you might not. Air education, we'll see the choice of that, and then, ooh, this is an interesting event. Another dog owner event. You can get rid of the dog. You can request a favor, or you can pay someone money because your dog chewed up stuff. All right, so Babylon's moving over here, which is interesting. And of course, Maria knows that Babylon has a tactician, and that means all these forests are actually really scary, right? Because they could, in theory, be hiding in every tolerant forest tile could have a Babylonian slinger. They only see them as similar, though, so can't be that many Babylonian slingers, but it is really hard to attack into a tactician because you don't know where their units are, and they can stun you. So any unit that gets out of position, you've basically just given that unit up unless you want to commit to a full fight, which you may not always want to do. So it looks like Babylon is getting ready to take this out. Hopefully they will finish that last stonecutter specialist. I don't see one. I don't really understand these trappers. I guess for orders in Hunter City, okay, I guess that makes sense to me, right? Because hunters do double dip, right, from the trapper. Is that correct? Yeah, hunters do double dip from the trapper. So it does give you a lot of food and a lot of growth. I don't know that I would build those, but I guess they're okay as a hunter. If I'm willing to build a farmer and then have it buffed by granaries, maybe I should be willing to build trappers as a hunter. I don't know. I feel like I always have better uses for my citizens. Okay, we've got machinery from Moria. They also have forestry and navi locked. Realistically, I would probably take navigation. It's turn 55, and I want orders. Forestry is eminently defensible as well, but probably navi because it's going to be a while before you cycle through this rather large deck. Make her a governor. Become mourning and get some stuff, or some dissent, which can be annoying, and the ambassador died, and we have issues with the Sage's family now. They are very unhappy. We were supported by a pretty good ambassador. In fact, there is another good Sage's ambassador. So you should be able to fix that slightly up a little bit. You still have 30 more to go. And their state religion is Hinduism instead of Zoro, and unfortunately his family has flipped to Zoro. So the correct solve here is actually to influence the Hindu head of Hinduism, and then influence the leader of this, and then the ambassador, and that should be enough to, maybe one more, and that should be enough to flip the family. Or alternatively, short term, you can, like even shorter term, you can just influence the head of the family, and that will fix them over that. And then you can influence Zoro. This is sort of the longer term play. You do have a judge leader, so actually I personally would probably just do this because I want to be holding court as much as possible. And as Moria, though, hold court is, of course, half price, which is really amazing. Look at this. 50 training for 150 civics. That is a great deal. Also, it goes the other way, right? You basically have infinite economy here. 50 civics for 150 training. So you can just alternate these two to create resources out of nothing more efficiently than anyone else. I guess it takes orders, so not out of nothing. But nice military buildup here. We can see sort of how Moria is continuing to build up here. Definitely feels like Moria is intaking their breath before an attack, and they are getting forestry. Very reasonable. They've got lots of great river forest sites. This ebony is ready to be improved. That wood economy will really help stabilize and potentially unlock some other stuff. So it should be pretty interesting there. They had a note to rush this elephant, but then did not. So maybe they rushed an officer. I'm not sure. Influence sages is the reminder. And indeed, they are influencing the sages. So love to see this sort of influence management, always important to do. You want to keep your families happy. Weirdly, in this game, you don't really manage family opinion by managing. You don't manage discontent, you manage family opinion. Discontent does feed into family opinion. Every point of discontent is minus 20, but you manage family opinion. You don't really directly manage discontent, at least not in the early game. This is why I think a lot of new players fall into the trap of running a festival, because a festival, of course, looks like it solves your discontent problem because it gives you happiness, but 20 happiness on a bar that is 130 discontent is not enough and takes a lot of time in civics. Your discontent will tick up faster than you can solve it, right? This is increasing by 9 and it takes 5, so it'll go up 45 and the festival only gets rid of 20. So festivals are not a happiness management tool, are not a family opinion management tool. You run festivals if you need a citizen ASAP in that city and are willing to burn civics to get it. That is the only reason to run a festival. So there is a niche use case for it, but it is not a key use case. And generally, if a project is taking you 5 turns, reconsider 5 or more turns. Consider whether you really want that project that badly. My personal rule for projects is like 3 turns or less, ideally, unless, again, I'm trying to do something very special. Or 4 turns or less or something. All right, Babylon, more events. They got this event where they can get 2 discipline. So here's another cute trick. Yeah, if you ever need more discipline, find someone in your empire who's inspiring and influence them. That will potentially give you inspiring, which honestly is not that great a trait, in my opinion, or give you 2 discipline, and 2 discipline is really good. So you can just go to the all characters view here, and then scroll through here and see, is there anyone inspiring? And then you can influence them, and maybe you'll get the event, not guaranteed, to get 2 discipline. And being able to get 2 discipline, very, very good. 6 discipline just is a lot of money. Right now, on 4 discipline, the king is already powering the economy at 128 with, it just scales really well. And money smooths a lot. There's already Babylon has a ton of money, doesn't have any wonders, could easily convert it to some wonder. Ishtar Gate might be a good one. All the other ones are legendary. Oracle's honestly not bad either. And we do see Babylon beginning to engage here with the Danes and clearing that camp. Let's quickly check if Moria has a vision of this. They do not. They have no idea that Babylon's clearing the camp. However, they do see that Lagash is oddly empty. So I'm curious whether next turn we're going to see Mario move up here and be like, where did those units go? There might be a hidden slinger in this one. I know there's not a hidden, there might be a hidden slinger in this one, right? So we will see. There might be hidden slingers up here, but we will see here what Babylon does. They are stunning this unit and they're trying to clear this camp. I think they'll be able to clear it before another unit spawns. They do have a settler ready to go. They are roading nicely, well. And they did take the 30 population ambition and already have 24, so they're making great progress. So maybe I was a little pessimistic on that ambition. I think I'm really pessimistic on the 100 population one. I remember taking that one in a game and being like, well, I'm never finishing this. I should have just taken the slums. Slums can spawn a rebel, which is really annoying. Barracks Instructor, this is kind of an interesting little event chain. The Land of Hairy Men. This is, I love these exploration events. I want to shout out Class, who really pointed out the science potential. There's about 8 or so, I think, events in Expedition or Exploration that have a choice that's gated by exploration. So send people exploring after you have or about to get exploration, so you can pick up the science events. Don't send them out early because these events will proc and then you won't be able to choose the option and then they never come back because a lot of them are once per game events. So that's a nice extra source of science. It's not a lot of science, but it adds up. I mean, there's so much small little things to optimize in this game. And it's just really well designed. I think just so much fun stuff. I know Scion's like, I love this game, and I gotta say the same thing, right? This is just a really, really well designed game that's just deeply satisfying to play because it always feels like you can always do something better. It's not an easy game to optimize. There's a ton of possibilities and options, and it isn't. There's some choices that are clearly better than others, but a lot of choices are highly situational, and things that might look like they're bad might be good in different circumstances. Right, event-wise for Babylon, the art of governance. This is basically make someone a governor. It happens if they're a student. Generally worth taking, I think. Because otherwise you just disappoint them. I guess you do get 60 XP on them, but it's a free governor slot, so as long as the governors aren't terrible, go for it. And they could adopt Zoro as their state religion if they wanted to. They do know that Babylon or that Moria has adopted Hinduism, so they could be like, hey, yeah, thanks, we'll take this religion. Definitely not a terrible idea if you don't have a religion and are not anywhere near founding Judaism. For some reason, they just have not built ranchers. Maybe the reason is that they don't have any pastures. No, they have a pasture here, so maybe we'll see when these two pastures get up, we'll see ranchers. Continuing to clear this. Yeah, I'm curious to see whether Moria will move in this turn or next turn. Do they ever rush out that elephant? Let's see here. Yes, they did rush it. I guess they waited for some production. And now they're building some apprentice officers. Really starting to be a pretty big science gap here, 74 versus 46. And now they have 2 elephants on the way. Good choice on navigation here to get those science. This is looking a little bit scary for Babylon. I don't know that I'd adopt a state religion on one city right now when I only have 400 civics. Right. So hopefully we're going to see some conflict here. As a player, I do not want conflict, but as a caster, give me conflict, right? As a player, please leave me alone for 120 turns. Then I will come say hello. Or I'll just win on my side of the map. Even better. Never need to come say hello. It's a hermit kingdom. We just win the game. Yeah. But as a caster, blood for the blood gods. Yeah. All right. Babylon does have a little bit of vision here. This is kind of a little hard vision-wise. Do they just not have that revealed? Like, yeah, they don't have this revealed. I'm like, why don't they? They should have vision in this, but they just, this is still fog. So it may be worth punching through that fog. Yes, I also cannot believe I survived my first game. I thought I was very dead. I think it was just my scout. And then as soon as that scout died in the north, I was like, I need to turn around right now because I have a bad feeling he's coming for me. And thankfully that paranoia was correct. And I built some forts and like I was as ready as I could be. It was not a flawless defense, but like imagine if I had just kept clearing in the west. Like, that would have been really bad because my units would have been on the wrong side of the map. Really liked his settler rushing as well. I thought that was super innovative and interesting. I did watch the first part of the cast last night. Still need to get through the additional parts of the cast, but I think that's also one of the great pleasures of the tournament. As a player, you can always watch the cast of your game after the game is complete, and it's just so fun to hear people dissecting your play, hopefully not critiquing it too much, but even if they are, you're learning from that, and just sort of seeing what the audience sees and what you did that you didn't, what they may not have seen about your strategies, or just thoughts and feedback. Some serious family opinion issues here in Moria. They did influence this, but it didn't look like it really took. I guess the influence worked, but like needed influence on the Zoro head. Yeah. And some family opinion issues here. She really hates your guts, disappointed, and scheme reverse judge. But she's ill, so maybe that problem will go away. And then I think most likely next candidate is perhaps, yeah, I think it's prioritizes folks who are healthy over 30. So realistically, could be, I think roles also get, I was looking at, like, I think I added to the reference page, how are family heads chosen? So 30 is the cutoff. So yeah, hopefully it'll be this guy because they are plus 90. Yeah. She just hates his guts. All right, so Maria did move their scout up here, which I love. They have now found, so in general, they've now found the Babylonian army. So in general, after turn 50, ideally after turn 20 or 25, as soon as you can, you want to know, where is my opponent's army? And then you kind of want to have a scout shadow that army around. You never want to lose track of your opponent's army. Ideally, like, you may not be able to follow the army everywhere, but then you should just leave scouts and be like, okay, I know the army isn't here because I have vision. And then just by process of elimination, I know the army must be somewhere else. So it's very good for Moria to move up here. They had their scout down here. They moved it up here. They're like, no army, empty city. And now they're like, oh, army is up here cleaning the Danes. That's interesting. Looks like they're busy. Maybe next turn I'll take this city, right? Like, that sort of thing is really great. Now they have the information they need. Babylon does have a little bit of vision here from the city. Would really love to see this scout come in and punch this fog. That's why we're not revealing that, because there's that patch of fog there. And then they would see, oh, this is actually a really big force. Maybe I can get away with this. Honestly, I would prioritize the camp at this point, to clear the camp as quickly as possible so that I could get this settler. You don't want another unit spawning as well in 3 years, so you really should prioritize the camp. I think maybe it's justifiable to kill this, but like, everything else should clear this camp ASAP. I think you'll be able to make it. You definitely shouldn't use 2 units to clear the camp to kill this unit. Yeah, so some tactical misplays here, right? This unit one-shots this before you attacked. And now, yeah, you're going to move that, so just not efficient damage. So you want efficient damage. I think we'll still be able to clear this camp before it spawns, though. So all works out, just minor optimizations. I am curious to see whether Babylon will inch up. They are starting onagers. Onagers are a terrifying unit because they have minimum range of 2, maximum range of 4, 5 range on a hill, unless the target is also on a hill. And they do take, you have to unlimber them to set them up, but then they are a 6 damage unit that does not have range damage fall off, which is incredibly powerful. Which means they just strike like, it's like a tactical nuke, right? I can attack a 6 damage unit on any square in this giant 4 tile or 5 tile on a hill range. And that's really powerful. So an onager here would be able to hit this city. And if you put a spear here, and a spear here, or a spear here, another onager here, I have 2 onagers ready to do 6 damage on a city. 6 damage on a city. Well, that's an assault elephant. It's not fair. It does more damage to the city. But like, this city ain't going to hold. And also the tricky part about onagers is you have to go out to meet them, and you may not want to be going out to meet them, but you can't just let them keep hitting you. So they really have a great sense of zone control. The solution to onagers is go around, right? If your unit has defended an onager line, then go where the onagers are not. Onagers are slow, hard to move. They require a road network. And again, they don't do anything unless they're unlimbered. So your opponent can like relocate the onagers and then unlimber them, but that's a turn where the onagers didn't attack. So they're kind of, I'd say, a situational unit. They don't work on every map. I think it works really well on this map because we've got some pretty good chokes here, right? You can set up onagers behind both of these cities, and these cities are going to be really hard to get into. This city is a little harder to defend. I think the natural choke of this map is actually, like the middle is actually hard to hold. This is a better choke, right? Like, and this is a better choke. So onagers really do like hills. So like, you could put expand borders here and put a fort here. All right, so Babylon almost cleared that camp. Let's see what Moria does. They got the event for the end of the volcanic eruption. They didn't get any rebels, thankfully, despite both families being really pissed off. They did get forestry, and navigation rolled right up. So there we go, navigation again. So that'll be good. If I'm Moria, I'm not in any rush to attack. I know my opponent is primitive to me and similar. I know I'm getting onagers. Don't really love building onagers here when I could be building elephants. Oh, they did start the museum as well. Missed that, sorry. So that's another sign. So they're getting more ahead, right? So from Maria's perspective, sure, Babylon, we're both on 6 cities. I can invest in my eco and get stronger. I already know I have a big science lead. I can continue to get some more units that let me punch through, right? Like, 1 onager, not that scary. 5 onagers, massive problem on your hands. 1 elephant, not that scary. 5 elephants, massive problem on your hands. So like get to that critical mass. You don't need to wait for infinite critical mass, right? You don't need 10 elephants. You don't need 20 onagers. You don't have the orders to move all that, right? I think a nice rule of thumb is if you think about your order rate, ignoring your improvement construction. So this is 26 orders a turn, 18 plus 8. Another way to look at it is you can go here, orders. If you stop your entire economy, and then best case scenario, let's say each military unit needs an order to move and then an order to attack. So if I've got 26, I should try to have a force of around 13-ish of my strongest military units. It doesn't quite work out that way because a ranged unit can sometimes attack on a single order. That's why ranged is so order efficient. And routing units, of course, can get multiple attacks, which is very, very valuable. But just as a general rule of thumb, something like take your orders rate, ignoring improvement construction, and then that's how many units you should have in your army, and that you want those units to be as strong as possible. Obviously, it's helpful to build additional units because you will lose some units, but it is you want you want to punch with the strongest punch you can. Like if I only have 26 orders, once I built 13 units, I should be good to attack with 13 units and then have reinforcements coming up. You don't need to get to 15 units or 20 units, right? Because you're not going to be able to move all those units. And so again, this is kind of the complexity of the order economy. Yeah, and again, that's just a rule of thumb. Obviously, sometimes the unit will take more than one order to get into the position to attack, especially your early turn attacking. So it can be very helpful to kind of creep forces up in that way. So again, that's just a rule of thumb, but like your army size should roughly be half of your total aggregate orders so that you can kind of get that sense. If you have 100 orders, you potentially could have 50 units that you can move. Realistically, probably you're not going to have 50 units that you can move. And unit quality also counts for a lot, right? Like a higher strength unit, a promoted unit is much more order efficient because it's more damage, right? If I have to spend, let's say I have a slinger attacking a target and that target takes 20 plinks from a slinger to die, that's 20 orders. Or I can have 2 highly promoted units that do 10 damage, that's 2 orders. So yeah, there's efficiency things right there. And I'm not sure like half the orders, maybe it's a third of the orders, because again, it's really like attacking does take, maybe you're probably going to move 2 orders and then attack, so maybe it's 3, but something like that as a rule of thumb. 13 is like half is probably on the high end. A third is probably on somewhere where maybe like 8 units, right? 8 strong units right now would be really good for Moria, and for Babylon they have 21 orders, so maybe like 7 really strong units. And that's a full-on attack. You'll notice Babylon has a lot of idle workers. This is a sign you have choked out your order economy. You do not have enough orders, which is why it's great that they're getting navigation. Idle workers they're not great, but it is much better to have an idle worker than it is to want to have a worker and have nothing for the worker to do. But you don't want to leave your workers idle. You do want them working. You want to have enough workers to keep all your workers fully employed. Again, similar to the army size, I think the rule of thumb is like not quite like my rule of thumb is something like 3 for each seat and 2 for every city. But you kind of want to work up to that. You don't want to just go directly 3 workers because you're not going to have the order economy to sustain all that. And you do need orders for clearing and military early on. All right. And one of the challenges of Babylon is you do need those early orders. And I would really love to see more garrisons in Babylon. And I don't know, I'm looking at science. We have 3 cities that could have 3 garrisons. That's an order and a half. And then we do have garrisons in the other 3 cities. We've got tons of science. No reason not to build a garrison. Like we should be building a garrison here. Surprisingly, we don't have one. It'll be super fast in the artisan seat. Or do we have a garrison? Yeah, okay. They're standing on a garrison, so good job. We should build a garrison here. We should build a garrison here, and we should build a garrison here. We are very tight on orders. Babylon is one of the nations where you really, really want to prioritize getting those orders online early because you just don't have statesman family. You don't have rider family. You don't have order shrine. Yeah, your consolation is you start with trapping, so you can at least get camps up like elephants and camels that give orders. Unlike, say, Greece, that doesn't even start with trapping and doesn't have any of those things. The worst order economy in the game. All right, let's see what Moria does. So they've found their army. They've just cleared that city. So they don't have to push in. They do have some family opinion issues. They have a new family head, so instantly solve their hunter opinion issues. I generally would not attack if I have a family this unhappy. Always better to fix that first. You don't want to be trying to fix it while fighting. Enacting professional army is way too far away as an ambition. Consular tributes, no. And I guess you just get like this is a odd hold court event, honestly. The festival here is one that I think is the correct choice, Insta Festival. So we do have this settler that has nowhere to settle, sadly. He did take the festival event, and probably want to upgrade this into a worker and just make it be a worker. It's been sitting here for a long time. You already know your opponent has cleared the last site on the map. You do not need that settler. You can just turn it into worker. All right, so some good chopping, and yeah. Looks like Maria is being content to just, continue to build up. I'm ahead. I'm going to get more ahead. I don't feel a need to go kill you right now. The disadvantage to that is eventually Babylon is going to come here and fortify this position, right? This city was really vulnerable. Now we've got a spearman that's setting up. It's not fully fortified yet, but like there is a window, and that window is closing for Moria for taking this city. Obviously, that window will reopen as they get onager critical mass, but it's going to be harder. You could have probably taken this city had you attacked maybe a turn or two ago. But like you didn't have great hunter opinion back then. So yeah, maybe it wasn't the right timing. So again, there's so many factors in this game that makes it fun to play because there's just so much to juggle. And yeah, maybe they're waiting for navigation. I think it's reasonable. One other thing you can do is stop your improvement. Like, don't make new improvements if you're about to attack. You want to be able to attack with everything. It's worth punching your opponent really, really hard with everything you've got. Versus like being like, oh, I'll attack, but also keep building improvements behind it. That's fine for some strikes, but like if you're going for a bigger attack, it can be helpful. Yeah, no right or wrong answers in this game. Looks like we are going to see some attacks here because I see a lot of promos, improvements, generals. What do we get here? Promo shield bearer, and then a general, a hero general. Yeah, look at the other reason family opinion is important is family opinion directly influences the strength of units. So angry families have -10%, but friendly families have +10%, and that's a big difference. So these elephants are 6.8 because of that +10%. And they have them as a general. Yeah. All right, so no attack yet from Moria. Babylon has researched Navi, expecting them to take serfdom instantly. And they could get a free settler, which is useless. Or Spears. Spears is, I think, the correct choice here. For some reason, they put a lot of tech into metaphysics earlier on. I'm not sure why. I think they hadn't picked a tech, and it was like randomly putting into the same tech over and over again. But I would strongly advise Phalanx. You know your opponent has an elephant. You don't have anything to deal with the elephant. You have some warriors you can upgrade. Take Phalanx. In general, Phalanx is a really, really great call against any nation with a mounted unique unit because spears do so much extra damage, +50% against mounted units. So spear is like a 7.5 attack against a 6 strength unit. Spear is very good. Probably my favorite out of the 5 strength units. You've got chariot, spear, axeman, and archer. I would probably pick spear first over all of those, and probably chariot second. And then I really don't like axemen, and I don't like archers. Not that archers are bad, I just don't like that they cost wood, and I don't like that they're only 5 strength. I would honestly rather have onagers than archers, although they are a lot less mobile, but they are a lot more powerful. And with spears around them, onagers are very strong. So I think I was talking to Aaron about this. Arguably, the ranged unique units like Samaran Archer for Babylon, they are best at 6 strength because the unit they kind of are competing for in a military slot is the Archer, which is only 5 strength. whereas there is a 6 strength melee horse unit, and there's a 6 strength melee infantry unit, the maceman and the horseman. But at 8 strength, the range units kind of aren't as great because you can just build a longbow, which is also an 8 strength range unit, and is cheaper to build than the ranged you use. Obviously, it takes more science to get to it, so there is a window for those. But on the mounted side, there is no 8 strength horse unit. There's just the 10 strength cataphract, which is really, really expensive science-wise. So their 8 strength window is a little longer and outclass everything else. And then, yeah, melee units, there's always a 6 strength maceman or an 8 strength swordsman. And UUs do get outclassed because just other units are efficient. It's just UUs come online with higher strength earlier. So you're not like it generally. You're going to get your first 6 strength unit will be your unique unit. Your first 8 strength unit will be your unique unit. Generally, there are fun strats like the stirrup rush on Easy, which let you get a 6 strength unit much faster than, or like on par with your 6 strength unit. Yes, and absolutely scientific. That's why Bejas and Sumerians, Bejas getting that plus 20% attack from being next to another Beja archer, and Sumerians having that sweet, sweet splash. They do make them sustainable. Yeah, you would still prefer them over a longbow. But you may want to still build longbows because you can get a lot of longbows. And it's 160 training versus 100 training, and I think 150 wood versus 200 wood. So longbows are significantly cheaper. I'm going to step away here for 1 second. I will be right back. And I'll keep the action focused right here in case something happens. All right, I am back. It looks like nothing has happened, so cool. I didn't miss any action. And yes, great suggestion, Sean. You have developing in this city thanks to the... excuse me 1 moment. Yes, you have developing in the city thanks largely to that salt mine. It is well worth leveraging that, especially with all the civics that Maria has. 1300 to get an onager. It's really valuable to be able to rush from your frontline cities with onagers because they don't have to move. As far. So it's why wonders like Ishtar are so powerful because they get you developing in all your cities, which means you can rush in all your cities. And otherwise, it's kind of a long, slow, painful process, right? At 4 culture a turn, even and this is also why the culture ambition or the culture ambassador is so valuable. Wisdom on an ambassador gives you culture, and culture can be pretty tricky to come by. It's important to, again, this is a game of juggling, right? If you have a military seat, you really want to make sure you get an Odeon down, and maybe you want a shrine down, maybe an apprentice acolyte down, just so you can get to developing and strong and a good time for a unique unit. You want to line up the science with the laws, with the civics, with the culture. And a lot of stuff just needs to line up. So it looks like Babylon got away with their gambit. They took a bet that Moria would not push in, and they went and cleared this site. So now they have a city advantage of 7-6. They are getting compo. Don't like this. I think phalanx is the correct choice here. The rationale is I don't think you have forestry right now. You do not, which means you are not going to be able to afford archers, because that two wood a turn upkeep is just going to it hurts so much. That said, you have a giant pile of money, so I guess you could buy wood. But like, yeah, each archer is like 600 gold, so congrats, you can buy 7 archers. Yeah, so maybe, but like, you know your opponent has an elephant. That elephant has assault. Assault has defense against ranged units. You want to get some more spears. So I think this is a mistake tech-wise, and I would strongly suggest phalanx instead. And yes, exactly, Sean, they do have a great Samaran archer. I think part of the problem is they're on 1 law. So you want to get to 4 laws so that you don't even need to bother with the archer. And you can just get the Samaran archer, or Chimeran archer, however it's pronounced. All right, Moria has mostly fixed their family opinion. Their science is progressing at a really nice pace, 89 science on turn 61, love to see it. They got Navi, so now they're going to have serfdom. That puts them at 6 laws. So they're actually 1 more law away. Tech-wise here, honestly, I might skip land consolidation of this map, because like these are the only 2 groves. I don't see any other groves. It's possible I'm missing some, but yeah, I guess three groves. So I would just go. You have forestry, unlike your opponent. You are building forests, so I would actually go compo, get some ranges. There is also a case to be made of saying, you know what, I want to actually go free archer, because I want to cycle this deck as fast as possible to get monasticism, to get my 7th law, and then I can build 8 strength units for my elephants. So I think there's also a case for just saying, screw it, let's cycle to get 7 laws first, and then go just upgrade these guys, build some more of these guys. They got really, like, there's elephants in this cap, so yeah. I would not go free war elephant. You already have elephants. I would not go land consolidation when there are 3 groves that you do not have in your borders. And it looks like they are doing the cycle. Love to see this. This is smart play. Get that 7th law, and maybe we're going to see a 7th law timing here from Mario. Yes, bigger stompy boys. You scare assault elephants are scary, but have you met armored elephants? They're even scarier. Available now on a limited time, Mario only. This ambition feels ambitious. 1,000 wood. I didn't see what their other choices were. But 1,000 wood is going to take a very long time, given that you currently have a wood income of 6. So, yeah, like, even if you get plus 100 wood a turn, that's still going to take 10 turns. I don't know that it would take 1,000 wood. That said, chopping does count, But unfortunately, okay, here's why I really would not have taken the ambition. Your leader is doomed. Like, don't take an ambition that's going to take 20 or 30 years to fulfill on a leader that is 66 years old. All right, so who is our new heir? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Let us look at the wonder of Princess Darini the Eloquent. The heir of Moria is 42 years old, an eloquent, educated, humble, wanton judge. Wanton is actually one of those good weaknesses because it gives you 2 charisma and only -1 discipline. Look at the stat line: 6 wisdom, 5 charisma, 1 courage, and 4 discipline. That is an amazing leader coming up for Moria. Meanwhile, over here in Babylon, mysterious sword. They've got the Sword of the Gods. I did not know this was actually also possible behind Extravagant. That's interesting. So this is one of those compensations for a bad trait. You can get the Mysterious Sword and also get a chance to become cursed. And then people want exploration. Free law. This is really great. Yeah, it saves you civics. You can get exploration. Absolutely worth taking. And yes, that's the other Sean excellent point. He did have a judge before. So he's replacing a judge with the judge on the Moria side. Yeah, the judge lets you upgrade your stronghold to a citadel as soon as you get 7 laws. So cycling that is even better. So we may see elephants as early as, let's see, Mario's around 100 civics, like 6 turns or less. I'm predicting we're going to see elephants on turn 67 or sooner. Armored elephants, the 8 strength ones. Assuming they get lucky with their draw, if not, they'll have to cycle. So that's another point for Babylon. They really, really, really should be getting spears. Spears are, they will do like 4 damage to an elephant, I think. Like, I don't remember. I have my nice little unit damage counter page. Let me check here. Let's check here. Armored elephant. Okay, the filter doesn't work. Armored elephant versus a spear. Armored elephant does 7 damage to a spearman, and a spearman does how much damage to a armored elephant? A spearman does 5 damage. So that's not bad. An archer, in contrast, does 3 damage to an armored elephant, which is bad. A warrior also does 3 damage to an armored elephant. So, yeah, that's why spears, they're not going to counter the armored elephant, but 5 damage is a lot more than 3. We're getting some more onagers here. More onagers here. More onagers here. Oh my lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I see what's going to happen. We're going to have a 5-ish onager timing attack. Plus maybe 4-ish elephants if he upgrades the 2 and then rushes 2 more out. New ruler. End of an era. New leaf. Fix the opinion of the sages. Make Zoro the new state religion. Oh, that's rough. It's going to piss them off, and 2 of your families are Zoro. I don't know what I would pick here. I don't know what I would pick here. Like, 2 of your families are already Zoro, so you may want to just say screw it and go Zoro. I don't know. This doesn't cost you anything to make it state religion. So that, yeah, Hinduism, it's fine as a state religion, but that's actually a curious. I mean, the problem is if you say no, these families are going to get really unhappy because she's going to flip from positive to -100, and that's going to pull down all these families by 100. So you're going to have problems with all these families right away. Whereas if you say yes. Okay, they did do it. Yep. So if you say yes, that makes Zoro happy, which actually fixes these families. And then Hinduism, Hinduism isn't happy, but this family isn't that happy. And you can actually use this person to take any of these people. And the way I usually like to do this is I convert the family head. So you click here and then you say convert religion. And as Maria, it's half price. So 37. Normally it's 75. As Maria, it's half price. And then you just go through the family, and then anyone, like ideally you always convert the head first, and then you look for anyone that has a role. So like you should convert yourself as well. You don't need, you can just do that with convert religion. I don't know why the option is convert to Hinduism. That should be convert to Zoro. That's an interest. Or you're already Zoro, never mind. Yeah, so then go through and find anyone who's Hindu, and then they have to be over 18. Ideally, you want someone who has roles because that's more points. And then, yeah, you go over and convert them. And then the family will flip once the majority of the family by points. There's a page on, yeah, I would swap this as well. It was good that they read the choices and thought carefully. All right, so we got free archer, and then we are inexplicably ignoring the seventh law, monasticism, which is right there and 5 turns away, and getting hydraulics. Also ignoring goods boost. But that is not good. You should have taken the seventh law. You have a timing window. There's literally nothing they're going to be able to do to stop you. I think you have decent enough vision to know that, and like you know your opponent has 3 laws. So yeah, I think the both players are making teching mistakes here right now, getting compo on Babylon instead of Phalanx, and getting hydraulics instead of monasticism. That said, I think the compo mistake is the more egregious one. Hydraulics instead of monasticism is it's not great, because I think you should prioritize 7 laws over hydraulics, because an 8 strength unit is better than a ballista. But like hydraulics is not bad, right? Although I don't know how many river sites we have on the map. He could build some wonders. He doesn't really have the civics for anything except for Ishtar. But you could totally slam down Ishtar. You could just plop down Ishtar. Let's see here. We got right here. You can just build Ishtar right now. We've got the resources for it. We don't even spend money. What does Ishtar give us? It gives us developing in these 2 cities, which, you know, is not nothing. So you could also build Oracle. Yeah, the other ones, you don't have any cities that are that. Yeah, Ishtar, very good, I think. Yeah, he does have a lot of money. I have a bad feeling he's going to be spending on wood. The Mahavihara, probably not worth building in this city. I think it is kind of a sleeper good wonder, not because of the libraries giving 2 science a turn or 2 science a year, but the 1 civics per urban specialist. If you have a lot of urban specialists, you've gone very tall, it can be very good. Mausoleum is, of course, good. Museum, Mario Stike took. Acropolis, I feel like the good part of Acropolis is actually 2 civics per year per religion. That's actually really, really good. That's if you have poly in your state religion there. That's 4 civics base in every city, which is really good. The orders per year with forum, I think, is almost a trap. I would almost, like, it's very easy to be like, oh, I built Acropolis. Now I must build forums in all my cities. Congrats, you've now slowed down your queue with forums. It's actually better to build the forums after the Acropolis, because this speeds up the Acropolis. Yeah, so this is some of the balance. I think you saw this in my game as well. My opponent ended up having a really roaring economy and had a huge stockpile of just tons of stuff, but didn't turn that stockpile into barracks, into units, into... They did turn it into wonders. But like, it's very important to, like, this is in some ways, you should have a barracks in every city. You don't right now. This stone, right? We could grab one of these workers. All right, you built a barracks here. That's great. Like, you can build... So how many barracks do we have? Let's just check quickly. Improvements controlled. We have 5 barracks in Babylon. I have 7 cities, so I should have 14 barracks. Or if I don't want to build them in the capital, which I've already done. So 14 barracks. So I should have 11 more barracks. That's 440 stone used up. All right, back to Moria. All right, remember we sent our instructor to become a general, and then you have the choice of making him strict or giving him a soldier thing. And ambitions, 40 ocean tiles. Do not take this ambition, please. Please do not take this ambition on Coastal Rain Basin. Great, and then they just took the XP. I don't even see what the other option was, but like, you currently have 1 water tile. Do not take the ambition to collect 40 of them. Smart play. All right, so yeah, museum is in 4 years. We're going to have a lot of wonders. I don't really love this hydraulics because I don't see where he's going to put mills. I guess you could put 2 mills here, and then you could put a mill here. Let me see if I can I? I'm trying to find a way to show you all the places that he could do mills. All right, I wish it didn't show adjacent. So look for the ones that have the, I guess, science. So you'd have to replace some quarries, which isn't bad, right? You could do mill here. That's a hill, so you can't. Yeah, so maybe mill here, and then mill here, right? 3 mills. You could build some mills. You could build some mills here, I guess. You could build a mill here. I don't see any more rivers. Let me find a worker. Just double checking that there's no action happening. There's not. So we'll continue to entertain ourselves with where can we put mills. No mills here, and then we have some rivers here. So this city's developing, so yeah, we could put a mill. This would be a great place for a mill. It'll buff the gold and the 2 lumber mills, and we're only developing, so only 1 mill. So 1 mill. I don't see, okay, there are some rivers here as well. You could go here and buff the salt and the lumber mill, and this has 2, so you can probably get 2. Okay, so 2 mill, and then 3 mill, 4, 5 mill, 6, 7, 8 mill. 8 mill, each mill obviously has great eco boost abilities for you, and also 2 science, so that's 16 science. Is it worth teching a 700 cost tech to get 16 science? I don't know. The tech also gives you ballista, which is really good against your opponent. But the tech as itself has a 43 turn payback on that science. But ballista absolutely destroys. And of course, mills also have the huge eco boost factor. So I think hydraulics is a really good tech. I just would not take it before 7 laws. I would absolutely take it after 7 laws, just not before. I also would prefer to take goods boost. Although his economy is so strong, or their economy is so strong that, I mean, goods boost also will get you towards this ambition because that is 400 wood. So I think Fluffy pointed out that goods boost does count towards that ambition. But realistically, in this position, I would just take monasticism, get my 7th law. I've got a judge, upgrade my citadel, go to town. Like I think players don't quite realize how strong having, I want to say 6 or 7, 8 strength units is before your opponent can do anything about it. Right? Like 2 or 3 8 strength units, they can kind of deal with it. They can just plink the damn things down. 7, especially if they're ranged, it's just terrifying. What are you going to do? Like they just do so much damage. Whereas 8, 7 elephants, right? Like this elephant can already hit this city for, really? Only, come on, elephant. I thought you could do more damage. This city can, there we go. This elephant can hit this city for 7 damage. 1, 2, 3, like that's a 6 strength elephant. Looks like Brrak would like to take a short break. In Discord, Brrak asking about a short break. Just communicating the note there in case people are wondering. Okay, with break, refer to JCT. This is call whether we want to do a quick break. JCT says, yep. Cool. All right, so we're on break here with the players taking a quick little break. Totally okay for them to do. Let's take a look at some stats. So, all right, Babylon is rich, 15K. National wealth, lots of resources. National wealth isn't necessarily something you want to maximize. You don't want to have a huge stockpile. You want to have a huge army. Total pop is equal 28. Specialists, JCT, has built slightly more. 8 officers versus 2. 2 acolytes versus 0 acolytes. Even a master acolyte. Some scribes and master scribes. Some trappers. Workers produced 11 to 9. Military produced 15 to 9. Yep. Units lost. JCT lost 5 units. So that early skirmish did go in Babylon's favor. So credit to Babylon there. Units killed. That includes tribal units. So yeah. Camps cleared 5 versus 4. Laws adopted 6 versus 3. Text discovered 17 versus 10. This is the power of that science advantage. Babylon's early leader lived for 51 years. JCT has found 2 courtiers, the power of judge. No one has any ruins. Improvement count is 78 to 34. A lot more mines from JCT. 6 quarries or 17 quarries from JCT. 8 barracks versus 6 barracks. 4 garrison versus 3 garrison. Looks like Babylon, I think, did get estates from an event. Obviously, strongholds are up. No strongholds yet in Babylon because they don't have 4 laws. 81 versus 35 improvements finished. And 325 versus 122 worker turns. Quickly going through growth, civics, training, culture, happiness, science. We'll take a look here at science. JCT has about 1,000 science lead and is currently well above Babylon. They obviously had their leader die, so there will take some time, but like this is a big gap. Money, they had their leader die, but they still have earned a lot more money. So if you thought Babylon was rich, Moria is richer, but the difference is Moria is spending their money, spending their resources, investing into economy. Looks like Babylon is starting to go back very quickly here. Orders, they're surprisingly, so this was adopting serfdom, surprisingly close on orders right now, but long-term advantage about 200 orders for Moria. Food, iron, stone, more stone income from Moria, and wood. Of course, they're just getting wood. And mill score, this is the dangerous number. This number is going up and is going to continue to spike up. And yes, territory owned. Yeah, game, I think, is strong advantage at this point for Moria. All right, and brrak is like, okay, I have returned to make more poor decisions. Love the spirit. Your decisions are pretty good. Some are good, some are not so great, but you should not beat yourself up over it. You had some great tactical combat, and hopefully this cast is when you watch it, will be helpful at helping you get better. It is intended somewhat as a teaching cast, well, not teaching cast, but like coaching cast. I'm going to do my best to let folks know that, hey, like, you should really be getting phalanx. You're facing elephants. Like, archers are just going to be sad. Especially because they're assault elephants and they have that minus 25% or plus 25% defense against range. 4 citizens and a discontent level or get perfume. 4 citizens is a lot. Get some food? Sure. A marriage? Sure. And then, yeah, we already looked at the event. No, extravagant or insane. You get perfume for being extravagant or insane. I didn't quite realize this is gated behind extravagant or insane. Of course, his ruler is extravagant. That's hilarious. The people of Shurpak come to you, King Amel Marduk the Humane, renowned for foresight and wisdom, to guide Shurpak to ever greater heights. Shurpak must welcome those in need. Or Shurpak must smell better. All right. So we'll see what choice King Amel Marduk the Humane. I think the humane option there is really to make it smell better. I would probably get the citizens though, because it can't hurt to get more citizens. Although he's not really using the citizens he has, but citizens are generally good. They do tick down orders a little bit, or they tick orders up a little bit and family opinion down a little bit, since it is -5 per citizen. So, all right. So Babylon did take this city clearly. They cleaned out the Danes without Moria. There was a moment here where Moria could have waited for them to engage the Danes and then just taken the city and put Babylon in a really awkward spot where they're like, well, do I defend the city or do I clear the camp? Or if I clear the camp, then the Danes might spawn more units. And like, I'm going to zigzag orders back and forth. But Moria did not do that. Now we have a fortified slinger, which actually should not be standing on an urban tile. Should not be standing. It is actually like still worth building forts probably, but like I guess I don't want to say should not be standing at urban tile, but like the problem here is assault, right? Assault is plus 50% versus urban, and unfortunately for infantry, urban only give them plus 25% defense. And yes, the citizens will help that ambition. That is a great call. All right, this 1,000 wood. So we just had the old judge die, right, 2 turns ago. So this wood is an ambition. Probably not going to hit that ambition at our current pace. Goods boost might help, but I don't know that we would. Please just upgrade this to a worker. Do we have descent here? Wow, we have 2 descents. We have Zoroastrian descent and Hindu descent. Important to clear this descent with just the suppressed descent. Does take 100 training, but well worth doing. Easy to miss. It is awkwardly here. And as far as I know, the only other place to tell is Rebels probability here. So you kind of have to go through all your cities. I guess you could go through cities here and hover over all of them and see if they have Rebel probability. But there's no easy way to find descent that I've found. I should do a video on the old world UI and things you may not know. Like, did you know this is a button? This is a button to show you agent networks when you have a spy master. Yeah, or did you know you can click on this to have this menu? I always look at this tooltip and then go to the city. I think I was watching someone stream and they were clicking on this. I'm like, where the hell did that menu come from? And then I realized, oh, you can just click on that. Yeah. Possible action in the tabs at the bottom. Possible action at the tabs in the bottom. Governor projects. Yes, that is a great point. You can see that here. Oh, wow, we have descent in Sapara as well. So I missed that there was descent in Sapara. So there's even more descent over here. Yeah. Yep, that's a great point. The exclamation point, definitely underused. It is, I think it is, I don't have this habit. I wish I did. Going through each of these things and then right-clicking to dismiss it, and like sort of you can click on them, they'll take you to the map, and then keeping an eye on this. You can even set yourself a custom reminder, which, yeah, this is good for governor management. You don't always want to assign governors, but you do want to like assign good governors. Builders are almost always worth assigning just because they save you so many orders if you're building anything in that city. Judges are very good for assigning to buy stuff in that city, like apprentice or elder officers. Orators are decent to assign because they give a lot of civics. Obviously, zealots, if you have soldiers, that can be really great to assign for some training. Yeah, the interface does take a little bit to get used to. So Maria is moving up our first onager. Curious to see if they will push up. Babylon does see that. We have a general being assigned, so I wonder whether we'll see some engagement. Unfortunately for Maria, Babylon is going to be able to sort of set up defensiveness. Fortunately for Maria, I'm not sure it's going to matter because I don't know that Babylon's going to have anything they can do to onagers set up protected by spears with elephants lurking dangerously. And we already have an adventurous slinger coming say hello. We may even have some interesting road building here. This is just really interesting terrain because you've got these random mini volcanoes that are like blocking off a little bit here. So yeah, this city does not feel like it's going to be holdable. All right, we are building a road, and then we realized there's a desert, guys, so we can't build the road. The correct road path, I think, was around here, and then you could connect this way as well. But I guess, yeah, you can just kind of trudge through the desert or build a road here as well. Love the roading instinct, but if you want to connect the city, you need to go around. 2 courtiers, really a trap ambition unless you have a judge, just because it's going to be very hard to add a courtier. You either have to tech for it, which you probably don't want to do, or get lucky, which you don't have any control over. 4 stonecutter specialists, another trap ambition. Unless you have a ton of marble, you probably do not want to be building stonecutter specialists. And 30 population. I guess I totally underestimated Babylon growth. That one looks like it's almost done. That was a nice painless ambition. I guess 30 is doable. 100, not so much. And I think I've seen the 100 variant, and I was like, I don't want slum, so I'll take this ambition. It's like, we're not going to finish the ambition. We do have that tactician ready to go. I'm really curious to see how Babylon sets up their forces here. I think it's really scary with assault elephants because they can just take the city. So I almost want to fort around the city and put spears in the forts. The forts won't do anything because the elephants can ignore the forts. But everything else, it'll help against everything else apart from the elephants. And that way you kind of protect the city core. And then you can put your tactician in here, and then you can stun things from the city, make it really annoying. But yeah, I would fort around this city. Yeah, assault elephants are a terrifying unit. You can think of them like a mobile battering ram. Like imagine battering rams could move more than one tile, and they could panic things. And they weren't vulnerable to horses. Instead, they were vulnerable to spears. But I'm pretty sure battering rams are more vulnerable to horses than, let's see here. They are siege. Siege is plus 5. Siege is, is it on, is it the other way around? Is it on the horse mounted? Yeah, plus 50% strength against siege units. So yeah, rams are as vulnerable to horses as elephants are as vulnerable to spears. So they're just a lot more mobile, and they have panic. So just strictly superior unit to the Assyrian battering ram. I think Maria is definitely very strong. Their nation trait is kind of a sleeper trait. In that you get like reduced cost. Okay, we might have some action here. Maybe not. Here's the God's Consort has died, and here are your choices. You could get this event, which gives you 400 civics, 2 happiness, and two orders a year. You could get a shrine, or you could get something else, and they did take the 2 orders. And so you now have this permanent Priests of God's Consort thing for 2 happiness and 2 orders a year. I don't know that I would have preferred that. That's obviously a more durable option, but it did cost 5 orders and foregoing a point of charisma and waiting for the damn thing to die. Sorry, the damn God's Consort to die. I'm sorry, Her Holiness God's Consort to die. All right, looks like Moria is getting ready to attack. I love this road network, right? Especially for onagers. They are going to try to set up on these hills, maybe? These hills are going to be... Yeah, you put 3 onagers on these hills. You put 6 spears around them. What are you going to do? You can't go around easily. And then you put elephants behind. That's going to be really scary. I'm really curious to see where Moria roads this. Maybe we'll see an exciting conclusion in this part 2. Because I don't think Babylon has any way of holding this. They're still on 3 laws. Oh, interesting. Maria put in a bunch of science into hydraulics, 191 science, and then realized, you know what? I'm almost at 7 laws. Let me go to monasticism. So I love this. Totally okay. Great thinking to change your mind. They fixed the mistake in some ways and were like, let me get 7 laws first. And they're building these assault elephants. So we may see 8th strength stompy boys. I would love to see these guys go back to get upgraded. I would love to see some rally troops, actually, because you're going to need the training to upgrade 3 of them now. And then, yeah, make sure to remember to upgrade the citadel. Upgrade the stronghold into a citadel in a single turn. Yeah, that's really good. That thanks, Sean, for pointing this out. I didn't realize descent missions were here. That's probably much faster to find them. And I'm not sure why that. I'll control click to restore. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's out of orders. Okay, and we have a hero on a rising star. Oh boy, on an onager. So yeah, as you can see, the onager does a terrifying amount of damage to this fortified spear on urban. Right, feathered friend, you can become a bird owner. I don't know what the chains there are. The Babylonian second in line could become a judge or a builder. You could take 4 rebel units and take back control over this city, which honestly might be a good idea. Because not having your production queue and you've got a bunch of units nearby, I would consider doing that. And then, this is the become debauched, which is really, really bad. So good thing you have the discipline. Yeah. I presume they will pick a judge or a builder. Their next leader is a hero, which is really strong in battle. So, and wow, the Duchess is really pissed off. Family opinion, Babylon doing okay. No state religion, and they still don't have divination, I think. Correct, no divination on turn 65. And continuing to get combo. Interesting. The axe is moving up here. Okay, are we going to attack this way? That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's going to succeed, given that I have a road network here. Yeah, I don't know. Might be interesting. So hopefully we're gearing up here for an exciting conclusion to this match. But yeah, we're going to have critical massive onagers here in a second. Presume you rushed some out maybe somewhere. 10-year onager. Build some barracks. Museum 2 years away. Oh, that actually, that's Babylon Science. I'm like, Mario Science really fell. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the wrong number. Babylon Science is 60, it turned 65, so I'd say a little bit behind pace. I think Scientific's rule of thumb is turn number. My rule is like plus turn number plus 7. Plus 6, something like that. Garrison. Still no garrison here. Always good to get those orders, especially when you have so much stone and you're really light on orders. 3 cities still without garrisons, the 1 here, and no garrison here yet. Yeah, and I think another important thing to keep in mind in Old World, and it's easy to miss this, is you don't need to improve every improvement. You don't need to improve every resource. Like, you don't need to improve all the salts if you don't need culture in this city and don't need money. This is the trader seat, so I think it's okay because the money scales with the fair. But like this one, you didn't necessarily need to improve this one. You're probably not going to ever be building elephants out of this, so you don't really need culture in the city. I guess it got you developing faster, so you could rush stuff. But I think another way of putting it is like getting fundamentals down, like a garrison and barracks. You want to prioritize that. The city does not have garrisons, and does it has a stronghold because I guess it was an upgrade garrison, but it does not have barracks. So that's why I see this super long onager build. All right, an event I missed. Sacrifice got us some wisdom. Continuing to hold court. Would really love to see a rally because we're going to be really tight on training here in a second. Monasticism in 3 years. Presume Mario's not going to attack. They do see this X. They don't see the invisible slinger. Family opinion, mostly okay. Just the patrons are unhappy right now. You can toss that influence, and you can toss the religious leader and influence as well. I think oh wow, that's, yeah. You can definitely, oh wow, they get pissed off. I didn't know there was an abandoned or state religion minus penalty. Today I learned. Oh, it looks like Mario's got Ishtar marked. So yeah, they're continuing to use their economy, right? So, and now Babylon is showing is weaker. So this may be beginning the end. Now we have a onager set up on this hill. It's going to be very hard to attack into that city. And I guess you could zoom forward and try to kill the onager, but it'll take 3 axes to do it, and then the axes will get obliterated by all this stuff. So pretty interesting position here, but definitely looks like the game is going to go Maria's way here. And starting in barracks now. Yep. This city was founded, I don't think it shows you when the city was founded. But like, I can check. Something. Founded on turn 30. So this city could have had a barracks for a very long time. Yes, Maria. Maria is, presume they're waiting for 7 laws, upgrade, and then go. Which is very reasonable. I'm glad they swapped from hydraulics to monasticism. Again, not that hydraulics is bad, it's just you really want 7 laws first. Meanwhile, also, I don't know that I would love divine rule. Like, if you end up with citizenship before monasticism, I think the correct play is actually to go legal code until you get polytheism and all those shrines up, and then you swap to divine rule. Because the civics from legal code are not bad, and divine rule is not really doing anything for you when you have like 3 shrines. Like, woo, 3 orders. Versus like, I guess 6 orders, not that big of a difference. So like maybe you should actually just stay legal code. Yeah. Governor of Babylon, righteous, equestrian, affable. Probably affable, given that we seem to be burning through all our dudes. Are we going to see a wonder here? Ishtar. Got so much money in stones. And stone. I don't know that we need Ishtar, but like it would help these 2 cities out. This city is otherwise 13 years away, and this city is 37 years away. What is getting us culture in this city? Artisans, right? And inspiring leader. Artisans +4 in every city. Yeah, they will get to developing on their own. Yeah, so control 2 Akkadian archers. That is a ambitious, or no, Sumerians are the 8th strength. So yeah, it's a good ambition. You do need to find another law. So get div and aristocracy and you're golden. Yeah. I would probably assign the perfume to this city to speed it up to strong, or actually Babylon, because Babylon is also a military seat. So, yeah. Of course, the fur will help here on this city, so that'll speed that up. So yeah, I don't know that I would build Ishtar at this point for Babylon or for Maria either. Pretty much all your cities are developing or very close to. So Ishtar's value is really just the growth. Yeah, I don't know what I would build. I guess maybe Acropolis for extra civics. I don't know. Or just build units and go kill your opponent. I don't think anyone's threatening point victory right now. So, all right, this does feel like Moria prepping for an attack. Babylon has kind of made some moves here, building some roads, which are always good to connect. They do have exploration, so they can move along these rivers. Siege do get bonus movement on rivers, but they get more bonus movement on roads. Right? I don't think Siege gets bonus. What remind me here? Minus 50% road cost. Yeah, roads are just more efficient. Because normally rivers and roads are the same efficiency, but Siege, because it's minus 50% road cost, it means they move twice as far on a road than they do on rivers. Coastal movement is still better. I want to say it's like 3 moves per tile on a road normally, but Siege moves 6. So we can test that, right? So we got this unit. This unit can move something like that. 3. Right, because they normally move, yeah, their normal movement is 1. So the road lets them move 3. Off-road, they can just move 2, 1. So, whereas if they're on a river, I can't path it onto the river. So, museum. It's done. 99 science. Take one down, pass it around. 99 science on the wall. Yeah, 2 years away from monasticism. Park this guy so you remember to upgrade. Lots of onagers. Assault elephant. Probably worth pulling these elephants back, I think, because you're going to want to upgrade them in 3 turns or 2 turns. Obviously, it looks like there might be an attack on this side, so you're covering there. It is very ballsy of Babylon to attack into this. I don't think it will succeed. But yeah, we will see here. And I will leave the action here and be right back. 1 second. All right, I am back. It's like Babylon still has 20 orders to resolve. Warriors continuing to row down this way. Now set of forces here. Babylon has issues with all their families. Does not have an ambassador. So that does not have an ambassador able to be added. This governor would be an amazing ambassador. Plus 55 family opinion, basically single-handedly fix this. They also don't have a religion. So religion is really important for managing family opinion because generally every family will have a religion. And then once they have a religion, they benefit from up to plus 200 of that religion's opinion. So imagine there was a Babylonian paganism here that was at plus 200. All these would be plus 200 if they were Babylon pagan. Of course, that goes the other way as well if your religion is unhappy. But it's relatively easy to keep religions happy. You can influence their leader. Yeah, so it just gives you another tool for managing opinion. So that's one of the reasons that religion is good. Okay, we see a barracks being founded by an injured worker that is building on not its family's tile. So that's going to be a very long barracks. Realistically, it's better to actually not touch that worker for a turn and then heal it up. Have it just heal naturally and it'll save you a turn, save you an order. You can, of course, road with injured workers. Looks like the road is almost connected here, but no road this way. All good though. Yeah, if you didn't catch the Oro versus God Loves Us game, Oro did a masterful job with a road network right from the start of the game, since Egypt starts with labor force and a ton of stone. And he just did a really great job of like roading everything through, and that let him have nice, clean, smooth expansion, and just, yeah. Really excited for round 2 of Swiss. I think it's going to be super exciting to start to see some of those matches. They'll hopefully be a little more skill parity and some closer, better matches. And honestly, Old World is the kind of game where it's enjoyable to watch as long as there's like close skill parity. Enjoyable to watch someone totally stomp someone, because that's interesting as well, but like it's not as enjoyable. Camels, gold, or goats. And hold favor is minus 20 opinion because you have a favor. Yeah, they have not suppressed that descent, but also the descent has not procced anything. Probably largely because they have freedom. So like the descent doesn't matter here. It does matter here. And you can see the descent icon, but it's only 5% chance. Still, it's going to be really annoying if they get a scientific. You may know this. Can you get a unique unit as rebel? I assume no. 1 turn away. Presume this worker is hanging out to be able to upgrade the citadel. Really hope we see that citadel upgrade and pull these units back for an upgrade. Yeah, look at this. 52 wood a turn for Maria, 0 for Babylon. Because they don't have forestry. So that's another reason I think archers are going to be a little challenging for Babylon to sustain economically. I think you can definitely get machinery before forestry, just because of the upkeep. The upkeep is stone. You really want to avoid wood upkeep before forestry. Because like you can build a couple granaries, that's fine. You can build a couple monasteries, that's fine. You really don't want to have like 5 archers running around that cost you wood upkeep. But yeah, forestry definitely underrated as a tech. That said, you can totally win a game without ever getting forestry. You just chop the wood you need, or build units that don't need wood, and then go smash kill. So, yeah. All right. So this becomes a very challenging position to attack into here. So we've got onager fire across the entire line. All right, you cannot attack any of these units without getting hit by an onager. They're using the mountains as a natural choke. We've got a spearman in a forest, a slinger here. Like there's a little bit of a road, but now kind of an abortive attempt. Mario's kind of taking the chokes here. This is kind of a natural choke, and this is a natural choke here. Yeah, if you want to go around the long way, be my guest. I'll see you and can deal with you. Yeah, farms on marsh. I think I really don't like farms on marsh because the worker takes damage while standing on them, and it just takes forever to build them. Then you have to heal the worker. It just feels really expensive, and it's like 2 wood a turn. I think if you have a good granary position, then maybe, because the granary does buff the wood income from the marsh farms. But it isn't bad. It's just, I don't know. It really hurts having the worker slowly tick down. Let's see. Here? Can I see how much? Right, we don't have centralization because we don't have aristocracy. All right, we have learned compo, and we also lost a scout that we apparently moved in here. And we're getting divination on turn 68, which is a little bit on the late side, but sometimes that's how it is. Other choices are free Byreme. Do not take free Byreme on this map. Free horse archer, not terrible. And coinage, probably not worth it right now. Yeah, coinage has money boost, free horseman, Latin sail, windlass, and free porcelain. So div, I think, is the right choice. And then, Yeah, you can have free kitty and archers, which actually finishes your ambition if you take the card. So, problem is, what happens if Mario starts slowly creeping forward, or Mario upgrades their units? Yeah, curious to see what happens here. From Mario's perspective, Babylon is, Mario is stronger. No, Jean, I totally agree. Like a couple marsh farms, absolutely worth it. To like, if I have 2 granaries and a monastery from clerics or something, or 4 monasteries, that's like minus 12 wood a turn, right? Like I really want to do something to solve that. So like 6 farms on marsh solves that. On some maps like wetlands where there just is not very much wood because it's all freaking jungle. And so you don't like, there's like 5 lumber mill spots or something. Marsh farms are really good. I think on that one of those maps, I like ended up building like 10 marsh farms or 12 marsh farms because I was like, I really need wood. And this is some wood, which is better than no wood. Really sad we're not seeing that stonecutter specialist. It's been a legacy for a long time. This is going to hurt. We're going to lose 5 legitimacy for both of these. So that's a half order return. Yeah. Okay. Some positioning around here. Yeah. Two hours into this cast here. Hopefully we'll get some. Been waiting for this action, right? Mario feels like they're in a position, but like feels like they don't need to attack. But at some point, and again, attacking is really scary. We have the benefit of being the God's eye view, so I can see all those forces. Let's see what Mario sees, right? Mario sees this. Right? So he's some axes in the forest. They know their opponent is a tactician, so for all they know, there's a bunch of archers in these forests waiting for them to make a stupid move and die. They don't know that there's no archers there. It's really scary to attack into a tactician. I like this hill personally. I might be cheeky and put some spears here and then put an onager on this hill and like see what happens, because I'm 99% sure an onager on this hill can hit the city. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, an onager on this hill can hit the city. It's not showing because I don't know why it's not showing. Probably because we don't have vision there right now. I guess it won't show you predicted damage if you don't have vision. All right, back over to Mario. See what happens. We just got Monastis in the turn. Are we going to see the Citadel upgrade with the Judge? I have a Zoro ambition here. 40 ocean or coast tiles. Build a Wonder, which they don't quite have the... And that. All right, we got our 7th law, monotheism. So that's going to help out with our orders. 5 cities, so 5 more orders. Would have loved to see Pali, actually, just to spread Hinduism in 2 more cities and then swap over the same turn, personally. Just a minor optimization. Or like build the order shrine in every city, also minor optimization. Mario has that, so that'd be... they have 6 cities, so that'd be 5 order shrines. Yes, love it. Thank you so much. That is a Citadel upgrade using the Judge Leader. Turn 69, 7 laws. Very, very nice. Wish that they had pulled their elephants back. Understand there was some happy fun times over here, but having those elephants back a couple turns ago so that you could just upgrade them right now, really good. And now we have, of course, the armored elephant available. Why is this city's training so low? Oh, I guess, yeah, it's 17. I guess it takes a lot of training. Yes, loved seeing that Citadel upgrade. Huge props to JCT for using the Citadel upgrade. But yeah, next time bring your units back so that you can have them upgraded right away. Hello, touring tourist. welcome to the stream. You're joining us at an exciting moment where we just had Maria use their judge upgrade to instantly upgrade their stronghold into a citadel, thus unlocking their armored elephant, our 8th strength unit. Would love to see swap this, rush this, and get a armored elephant on the board. Yep, exactly, Sean. But yeah, I would pull back these two, finish that one, and then rush out another one and upgrade the other two. Upgrade the one you're building, upgrade the other two, and then you have 4. Maybe rush out a couple more, and then just go say, hello, let's play. But it looks like we're saying, hello, let's play over here by attacking this worker with an archer and pushing forward. I do wonder whether we're actually going to set up an onager on this hill. This hill does scream for an onager. Now, since we can see the city, we can see indeed the onager on this hill. So without the hill, the onager cannot hit the city, but with the hill, the onager can. So this is exciting. We've got stompies incoming. Hopefully they will remember to go upgrade those stompies. They don't have to, but like can't hurt. They've got lots of resources, good amounts of training. Might want a rally troops actually, just to give myself some force march potential if needed. Like I like to have at least 1,000 training going into a war if I get a choice. Zoro probably want to do some religious conversion missions. I don't know that I've seen these. Yeah, you can check all this. Queen is idle, can be sent on a mission as well. Yeah, I need to remember to use this exclamation point menu. It's quite good. It's just easy to forget. So many things to juggle in this game. I would love to do a better job of following notifications. I think casting has actually helped because this is a really great way to keep track of what's happening from a cast perspective. So Maria has a scout, they have vision. Ooh, they actually did move there. Wow, look at this. So this is the classic onager push. Just need to go upgrade those elephants, or maybe those elephants won't go back. Just don't have the orders. We'll just get more elephants. That's fine. It's not going to matter. Yeah, I just felt like they had the tempo to pull them back before. But it looks like we're going in, and I love this approach here. You've got some spears, sure, but if these axes move out, they're going to get hit by 3 onagers. 4 potentially, depending where they stand. And this one forgot to unlimber. That is really hard to get through. The spears shut down any horse and route chain potential. It's just going to be really tricky to get around. And yeah, this looks like a really nice slow push from Mario. What I'm expecting next turn is we're going to push forward a little bit more and then put an onager on this hill. Or even maybe push forward a little bit more and then put 2 onagers here and an onager on this hill. Onager here can hit the city, and then suddenly you have massive problems in this city. And like this mountain is a great thing. Like you've got a mountain on your shoulder. It's very defensible. This is a problem for Babylon. And Tactician kind of is starting to fall off here because like, okay, you can stun 1 unit. This is a terrifying archer. Like, look at how much damage this Tactician does. This Tactician is scary. All right, this is a 7th strength archer. But then look at how much damage this Tactician does to this not armored elephant, the assault elephant. It does 5, despite being a superpowered Tactician. And of course, we now are facing wood upkeep over in Babylon from units. And yeah. Curious to see how this game goes here. And I should swap over to Babylon. It looks like I forgot to swap. Coming back over here. Babylon obviously sees they're in deep problem. Pro tip, you can see the C. If you hold down C, you get the danger overlay. This is a really great way to see where onagers can hit you. So holding down C shows you where the onager line is and where you can safely stand versus where you can't stand. I mean, it works for all units, but it's particularly useful against onagers because it can be sometimes hard to calculate exactly how far they can hit. We are getting metaphysics, which I think is really a mistake, instead of getting free Akkadian archers, which would instantly fulfill our ambition. I would really take free Akkadian archers. Yes, it's 5 years, but dear Lord, we need this right now, and we do not have 4 laws. So like I would take the Akkadian archers immediately and not get metaphysics. So, but maybe he's cycling because he did put a lot of science into metaphysics, and then he's going to try to get aristocracy. We will see. Honestly, I think it's a little bit too late for Babylon. Never want to see your opponent both stronger and learned. Really never want to see your opponent stronger, even if they're naive. Like, that's still scary. They're stronger and they're naive. Um, of course, if you're playing scientific, you may want to scout to see, like, oh, they're stronger. That's because they built 50 militia. So, yeah, so the power rating does not always correspond to actual strength, because you can inflate it with a bunch of warriors or a bunch of militia. Of course, if those warriors get upgraded into something like swordsmen or pikemen, you're in trouble. Or even if the militia get upgraded into conscripts. Scary. All right, so Babylon's sort of running out of time. I think they are aware of the extend time. Yep, they've used up almost all theirs. Queen Zenobia is rising star and a judge. Yeah. So yeah, I'm expecting continued slow push. Yes. Make sure to scout scientific. He is a he's the Loki of the old world cinematic universe. He will do all sorts of insane tricks that do not make any sense. You're like, oh, I'm of forward laws. This guy doesn't even have a. What are those, horse archers? Yeah. Love this. We're building a fort here. And then we're hopefully going to squeeze these units forward a little bit and then put an onager on the fort. Looks like exactly what we're doing. We're building some roads. Love this. Nice, beautiful slow push. Let's check our events here. Get some opinion. I think do nothing is the correct choice here because you get some better results. One turn on this assault elephant, which hopefully we'll remember to upgrade. Babylon is now deeply under pressure. I would honestly, I mean, you can wait 3 years, but like realistically, it doesn't hurt you to put an onager on this hill, move like a spear here and an axe here, or an axe here and a spear here, however you want to call it, and then like put an onager on this hill and then start hitting things, including the city. Like he could break through, I guess. If he uses 3 axes, he can kill. All right, we're getting a flatland fort, so yeah, you definitely need to creep up. Yep, there we go. Yep, perfect. Onager on that hill. Put one more unit here, maybe the spear. Onager here, this onager also okay. Careful about stacking your onagers together. You can get route chained. They are very fragile. Your opponent fortunately does not have any horses, but you may not know that. Okay, so yeah. Oh, this feels a little exposed, but not really because it's supported by all these other onagers. So this is a beautiful illustration of onager critical mass. Right, one onager, you can just stun. This dude could just be like, "Ha, I'm going to stun your onager." 6 onagers, I can't do anything about 6 onagers without my own onagers. And now, if we look at the danger zone, yeah, that's the other way. But like, if I flip over to Babylon and show you what they see from a danger perspective, they're like, "Oh shit, I need to fall back, and this city's going to start getting hit." So, like at this point, it is going to be very challenging for Babylon to hold this city. If you wanted to hold the city, this is actually the time, or several turns ago would have been the time to rush walls in this city. But of course, you don't have walls because, or no, you do have walls. Why can't you rush walls? Oh, no. Babylon doesn't have polis, so yeah. Honestly, you should prioritize forestry as Babylon just because you do not have the wood income otherwise to sustain your unique unit. Okay. So love this beautiful slow push here from Maria. This is a beautiful onager slow push. One of my favorite things to do. It's incredibly annoying to deal with unless you have your own onagers, which kind of stop a slow push because or you have to expose your onagers. Like imagine if Babylon had 4 or 5 of its onagers in forts here, it'd be really hard for Maria. Yeah, Skipper, hope the barbarian horde went well. It looked like an interesting start, but then I had to go cast a game, so I wasn't able to watch the rest. So I'm gonna catch the VOD later. All right, you're tuning in here. We've got an interesting game between brrak piloting Babylonia and Maria being piloted by JCT, and Maria is executing a slow push, 7 laws behind. Babylon is quickly getting spears behind this, which is definitely needed. But the problem here is with a divorce force like this, you have onagers, which you really want melee horse to deal with. Spears, which you want axes to deal with, which, hey, we have. Elephants, which we want spears to deal with, which we're getting. So, like, yeah. Yeah, so we've got a really, really nasty slow push. Curious to see what Babylon does here. This is never fun where hostiles seen. It's a lot of hostiles showing up. Yeah, we did add a courtier. Woo, somehow we got a courtier. Aesthetic in the wood. So we did get that way, but it'll be challenging to get that legacy complete. Yeah, upgraded this archer, but of course onagers outrange archers pretty significantly. So this city is going to start getting hit, and they splash damage as well. But yeah, sad that we did not take the free Akkadian archer card. This city is still autonomous, which is so painful. Obviously, it's building some nice specialists, and it's giving you quite a bit of science actually from being autonomous. 10 because it's a point per population. So that's a lot of your science kind of being carried by the city. But unfortunately, you can't produce any units on autonomous, and that's the one thing Babylon needs right now: units. But realistically, I don't think they can hold this slow push. This is kind of why I think onagers are such a strong unit. Like, if your opponent has onagers and you do not, you are at a severe disadvantage unless you can kill your opponent's onagers, which means you need to have horse melee mounted units to do that. And if you don't have melee mounted units to do that, you can still kill the onagers. It's just going to be like, this axe can deal 7 to this onager. Why is it so much? I guess it's promoted a little bit. And I guess the family is upset. So yeah, it seems like, oh, because the onager takes extra damage while it's unlimbered. Plus 25% while unlimbered. So we can see some units falling back here. Unfortunately, this unit will not want to fall back because it's fortified on the urban tile. And the onager can hit this unit for 8 or hit the city for 7, which is more than the city will heal. And of course, it'll splash around everything to the city. One thing that is missing from Maria's army is route. It would be good to have 1 or 2 chariots even that are standing by ready to route. You don't need that many. Generally, if you do a deep route chain, you're probably going to lose the chariot, but that's okay because you did a deep route chain. So it is good to have grabbed spoked wheel if you can, if you don't have a unique unit that does routing. I don't really need to necessarily go to horsemen. 5-6 damage is not that big of a difference. It is kind of nice because they don't take wood to build, but you do want to have some route. So I think, yeah, it would have been good for Maria to get spoked wheel somewhere in here. Of course, hard to get everything. It looks like we're going back on comp bow after getting that. I think that's the right call there. All right, so we're going to continue to slow push. Are we going to attack? Yes, look at that. 7 damage on the city, 3 splash onto here, 2 splash onto here. That's a problem. And I think we're now going to see this onager move up and continue to sort of slow push. So we'll keep the camera here. And indeed, yep, there we go. There we've got so stupid tricks you can do. It's too late now, but you could have, if you had, yeah, as Babylon, you could have improved this and put a rural specialist and be like, hey, thanks for building forts in my territory. It's not too late now. You can still do that, but that's really funny. And in fact, since Babylon does not yet have an aristocracy, in theory, they could get border boost and pull the forts into their territory, which would be really funny. So that's kind of the danger of building these neutral forts without buying the tiles, buying colony. your opponent can pull them into their borders, or they can just kill your units and now they're standing in a fort that you built that is helping them. So always fun stuff. But this does look like it should be, I think this will be the last session, just because I feel like Babylon is not in a position to be able to deal with this. Would love to see some of these onagers come up here and also like push up a little bit more. Move this here, move this here. There's no route. It's a hell of a slow push. And would also love to see this unit get upgraded to an armored elephant. And I would love to see the armored elephant hit here, and then the civics rush button. So I don't know that there's anything Babylon's going to be able to do against several armored elephants supported by onagers. So yeah, really, really nice performance by JCT here. They lost that central site to Babylon, but it does not matter. 6 versus 7, 6-7 as the kids say, is not a particularly big city difference. You can definitely win with 6 cities to 7, or even 5 to 7. 5 to 15, a little more challenging, not impossible, but definitely harder. All right, we're upgrading some of these onagers. A shield bearer, and we got besieger. Well, that's another nice thing about colony pushing as well. If you do get colony and buy behind this, then you can take advantage of sentinel onagers, which is really, really, really neat. Because a sentinel onager is terrifying. And if it's a hunter city and they're friendly, like that's a 8 strength onager, it's a mangonel. But yeah, we're slowly pushing up here. Nice little slow push. That fort's almost done. City's getting hit. Curious to see how Babylon will react here. I don't know what the reaction is. Like I don't think if you gave me Babylon's position here, I would be able to win the game. Like I think it's too late to turn this around. Yes, the Sentinel Onager is absolutely terrifying. All right. Continuing to whittle. Did they? No, they did not. They did attack the city, but I guess these units healed. All right, we got Phalanx. Would love to see aristocracy to get 4 laws, but like I don't know that it's going to matter. This is going to be really hard to get through. Your opponent's stronger and learned. Look at the mill score. Big spike. We can see, did they rush an elephant? They did. Did they upgrade an elephant? They did not. So points for rushing the elephant, minus points for not upgrading the elephant. I don't know if they realized you can just upgrade 6 to 8 strength units. All right, so what is Babylon going to do? They have some events. They can marry some people. They could become foolish. I think that's another extravagant event. They lose 1,000 money and can lose extravagant and no longer become stressed. So they get rid of the trait, or they exile the dude. And oh my lord, I don't think I've avoided extravagant like the plague, and it's kind of fun to see the events that I've just never seen. Yeah, I don't know that I would fortify in onager line of fire. That is going to end poorly, given that you can get hit by at least 2 onagers. Not good. In fact, you gave this onager something to hit. So this may be GG here soon, because Babylon is too far away from their own onager. Like imagine they had 1, 2, 3 sentinel onagers. This would still be a problem because this is a hill. This is why hills around cities are so dangerous, because a city on a flatland cannot hit. So pro tip, always, if you can, found your cities on hills, it makes them much harder to siege from another hill, because a hill gives extra range unless it's on a hill. So hills reach further, but like they don't reach other hills. So you'll see here, like these hills don't get reached by this onager. Or this is a better illustration, right? So like this, oh, this onager is on a hill. So yeah, so take extravagant, get the sword, and then clear extravagant. Yeah. So yeah, so continue to push forward here. This feels, where did our tactician go? Did he unassign his tactician? Oh, he's a general somewhere. He's a general. Where the heck is he a general? I just not see. Okay, he's here. Sorry. This super promoted archer. Love this promo. Eagle Eye, combat, max level. Love this promo. So good. I feel like the combat line is seriously underrated. 5% strength isn't a big deal. 10% together, that's 15. That's plus 30. That's a huge deal. It's just, you just need the full line. So Eagle Eye is of course amazing on archers. Marksman is very good as well. Oh, we have some play from Babylon here. Unfortunately, we have no extension time left, and we have 20 orders. So the science difference right now is 64 for Babylon versus 102 for Moria. I think with a gap of at least 1,000 science. I don't want to look at the graph right now because we do have a little bit of action here. And yeah, unfortunately, we have run out of time. We have no spare time here. So we're kind of doing a last-ditch effort here. But it is interesting counterplay. I don't know that it's going to accomplish anything. And yes, combat's amazing if you can fully promote. So let me quickly look at science difference. Yeah, we have 1,300 point science difference, 3,800 to 2,500. Continuing to hit this city, we may actually be able to take this city this turn. I don't know that we would want to. We do have this fresh armored elephant that could, you know, one-shot the city. What about these assault elephants? Oh, almost. Yeah, these elephants can take the city. Bye-bye Lagash, bye-bye Sentinel. Obviously can't deal with that stun there. Putting an onager up here. Had there been onager before, would have really dissuaded. Yeah, so this is good tactical thinking. I really like Brak's tactical thinking. Like his tactics won the central battle, and now these tactics are forcing Moria to respond. I don't know that Moria should actually care about this, because they were like, cool, you want to go that way? We're just going to come in and kill this stuff. And there is the assault elephant, which for some reason did not get upgraded. And Moria needs to remember to move the armored elephant. They rushed out, and perhaps rush another one. I wish this told you how much it would rush without having to queue it. Our tooltips are already so bulky, so like I don't know that I want to make that suggestion. But yeah, I would love for Moria to just go in. Oh, this guy will do it. This assault elephant, because this general is happy, is pleased, and this guy has 6 charisma. You could just put this assault elephant and take the city. I would honestly go for it. Like, it's a zealot, take the city. Just such a good move. It removes Sentinel from all the units. Not that there's many units with Sentinel. Oh, we're moving. We're moving. We're definitely not, like, if I would not keep elephants on the front line unless they're about to attack. Unfortunately, no more training left. Did he move the elephant? He did. But now he's not going to be able to take the city. So this is actually inviting the elephant to die to spears. Or worse, get stunned by the tactician. Now, the tactician can actually do quite a bit of damage here. It'll die, but yeah, this should be GG here soon. I do weaker and primitive now. I do not see a way out for Babylon, and have not for a while now. Wanton combat. Or wanton conduct. can simply declare us married. So, yeah. Pretty scary here. 6 onagers, 7 onagers. What's the onager count? Yeah, 8 onagers, I think, at this point. There's the 8th one. Just like it's super challenging to respond to 8 onagers. Especially when you have no onagers and no horses. So you can't kill them and you can't have your own. All right, what will Babylon do? I really don't love assigning luxuries to families. I don't think it's worth assigning them if it's not their desired luxury. I think it is worth assigning the desired luxuries after you've assigned one to the seat, if you're trying to get culture in the seat. Otherwise, I think it's actually better to stack luxuries on your capital and your mill seat and maybe a state seat if you're trying to get culture there. Yeah, this is just a flat +20 opinion, which is very underwhelming. All right, here we go. Babylon is indeed saying, you know what? You put your elephant in the front line. I'm going to go kill this elephant. I have 1 spear. Really? No more spears? Yep, 1 spear. Sadly. Okay, but I can shoot it. So this is the problem. This is the problem with because it has assault, it has this extra 25% defense against ranged. And of course, it's in trees. So yeah, this becomes the, oh shit, I can't kill this elephant. Even my super unit can only do 3 damage to it. 4 damage to it. Oh, got a crit! We're going to see the elephant go down. I just need 1 more point of damage. Conveniently, we have an archer here that could move into the city and kill it. Yeah, I would probably take the archer into the city and kill it. I'm not sure. I don't see anything else. I guess you can move this slinger and plink it. I would probably be repairing this city, but again, it doesn't. I don't think it matters at this point. I would definitely kill the elephant, though. Good crit there. This is why I want to do some practice games as Assyria, because I feel like Assyria should be amazing, just because it has hunters and champions and focus on every unit. And patrons, which are really good as well. And clerics. Which I'm not convinced clerics are fast enough for a dual meta right now after my last game where I'm like, I'm going to go cleric cap because I'm going to get double monasteries in my capital next to some groves. It's going to be amazing. Like, dear God, I'm almost dead. All right, so elephant down. Babylon has killed an assault elephant that unwisely poked itself forward. Even with a zealot general, even in the forest, it was not safe. Which is a shame because he could have taken the city with that. He probably would have lost the elephant to that. But it would have neutralized Sentinel, and that can be very much worth doing in situations like this. When you're facing a hunter city, neutralizing Sentinel by making it a neutral city is quite good. Just because it makes these units are really strong with Sentinel. Again, it isn't going to matter here. I'm a little curious why he's not standing in the city. I presume he doesn't want to get hit in the city. Yeah. Sadly, we used our crit on the unit there. Otherwise, stunning these onagers would be really good because you can just stun kill them. They're so you wouldn't think an archer can kill a onager, but it can. I remember in a game against Mojo, he just had a tactician and just I was trying to do an onager line and he just was like, I'm just gonna kill your units. Boom. I did 20 damage to your onager. What are you gonna do with an archer? Tactician crit. I'm like, Yeah. So, all right. Let's some good counterplay from Babylon. And yeah, they're almost out of their time bank. 29 seconds left in the bank. It's still a minute 48. Holding on for dear life. Would love to see no vigilant. It's always worth checking if there's a vigilant governor when you have a city under attack. Ideally before it gets attacked. Always worth the check to be like, oh, can I put someone in there that's vigilant? It's 50% defense. It's really good. Make it into a champion city, basically. And then have a tank. But yeah, this position is just really hard. Maria's stronger. Yeah, the only flaw I would point in, or like the only significant critique I would make in terms of armies composition for Moria is you do not have a route unit. And if you did, you could enable route chains, but since you don't have them, you won't be able to do that. Yeah. And I don't know, my eye always tries to be like route chain. I could go from here to here to here to here to, and then finish on this pier. Right, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like just devastating route chains. I love route chains. It's my favorite thing in Old World. And then you start to see the problem with the archer here, right? So we have no wood income and we have 5 archers. So now we have 10 wood. So I think Sean's point around like back when we had centralization, which we actually don't even have centralization because we've never gotten aristocracy. Putting some farms on some marshes would have helped a little bit in terms of getting some wood income, although it looks like we don't have that many marshes actually in our borders. So yeah, it looks like just, wow, this, look, instead we're building, like, we are clear chopping everything. This is again, if you're trying to build archers, just do not get compo for archers without forestry unless you're doing a timing attack rush with archers where you're planning to win the game off of it. It's just not going to be sustainable because they take wood upkeep and they take 100 wood each to build, right? This is 100 wood. 100 wood is 5 chops. That's a lot of orders into chopping. All right. Did not rush here, interestingly. We do have this armored elephant. Can't quite force march. This is why I would love to see rally, because again, just not being able to force march, painful. Huge order economy difference. Love that Moria has stopped all their workers, so that they have all their units ready. All their orders are being built for military. So they have an order advantage, and they have stopped their entire economy because they don't need anything more. They're okay. And yeah, route chain would be amazing. They've killed the leader. I'm just going to quickly swap over to Babylon to see if there's an event. There is not. Always fun to see, like, is the leader. And then, yeah, now we're just doing a great job with, like, this. Would love to see, like, killing units of splash damage is always fun. We do stupid tricks. I think we still have 1 unit that can attack here. You could attack. So one thing you could do is, yeah, I'm trying to figure out like cute ways to kill this unit. This slinger is probably good. It's exactly 3 hit points. And yeah, Lagash, this game is over at this point. It's just a question of how do you untangle this. This one, probably. I mean, I guess he killed the unit, and that's the correct call. Because like the city will fall on its own. Really, the city should have swapped to repair. By the way, you almost never want to try to force a unit like this because notice you lose training and civics and everything from taking damage. So it slows stuff down. Also, damaged city can't rush stuff, although the city isn't even developing, so it can't rush stuff. Yeah, so we got 2 kills so far: a spearman and that super archer, which is really painful. That's the other reason I don't particularly love promoting units, because it really hurts when they die. You're like, wow, that is hundreds of training gone. Bye. And usually I just don't float that much training. So it's a nice front you've got there. And this is before brrak casts the cataclysm spell that will open up the earth. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if you could cast spells for calamities and just be like, nice front you got there. Shame something should happen to it. Whoops, earthquake, bye-bye. Route chain, bye-bye. I wanna make it like a god wizard mode or god king mode where it's like your leader now can cast calamities. It'd be really fun. It wouldn't be balanced, but it'd be really fun. Like just casting a calamity on demand. Kind of like SimCity, where you'd be like, okay, now I can choose which disaster I want. Just really fun to sort of see what happens. Although sometimes it feels like the game does that itself. Like the sandstorm is kind of a pain in the butt sandstorm. It's a giant sandstorm, kind of nerfing Babylon. Come on, game. You should be trying to balance things out. Yeah, but 22 orders. Don't forget to move this. Don't forget to rush this. What do we just research? We research compo. Realistically, research does not matter at this point. I would honestly just get the camel archer because it's a unit. And like the game is, the horizon for the game is like turns at this point, like 5 turns max. I do not see this game getting to turn 80. All right, interesting. These chopping some forests here. Yeah. I feel like Maria could have killed a lot more units this turn. They've gotten 3. An axe, a spear, and an archer, but like I kind of feel like they could have killed a bunch more units. And maybe not, but like I would love to see like spears getting some work in here. Like, what is this unit doing? Like, I don't like moves like this where you just move a unit in and like it can get attacked, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, I guess this unit is protecting this onager. But like, you're just gonna lose the unit. So like the unit should at least attack, right? It doesn't cost you much to move it forward and then attack one more. Yeah, it'll die, but hey, it did damage as opposed to just standing there. Our assault elephant. Yeah, Mario's being super cautious. It's not incorrect play, and they don't have good vision of what the hell is back here. So for all they know, there could be some nasty thing waiting here for them to overextend. So they're playing correctly. I particularly don't like this sort of move, especially since they can, if you were worried about a horse unit, this doesn't actually protect you. It would have been better to move forward and attack because the unit, there we go. Great, thank you. I rest like that's fine. And honestly, I would just say, cool, let me move in. Like, yeah, you could almost get one more kill. Yeah. But these tactical turns and tactical plays are actually really hard to do live on network, so props to both players. All right, we have aristocracy, ladies and gentlemen, on turn 73. So we can get 4 laws and get Acadian archers. And, ooh, training for the sandstorm. Get a courtier. Too bad we just missed that legacy. We can finally get a ambassador, which will help with our families a little bit. Yeah, Salve is really good to get some more loss. Unlucky sandstorm. That is indeed an unlucky sandstorm. Yeah, I think on Mario I would have just been like, I'm fighting on Arid. I'm going to grab a camel archer because like nothing else I'm offered right now as Mario has any payback to me right now, right? Mario still hasn't picked their tech, but like drama, irrelevant. Steel, effectively irrelevant. Camel archer, good stuff. Can we take a short bathroom break? And I need to switch to an alcoholic drink now. No, JCT, I would imagine I will be hearing about fort and under placement in the commentary. I think your fort and under placement's been pretty good. I don't have any. I love that you took this hill. I love that you put a fort on it. I love that you did a slow push. I'm actually very happy with your slow push. I think this was a textbook slow push. I think you could have been a little more aggressive. I would have loved to see a scout poke around, like have a scout here just to see what the reinforcement line looks like. Yeah, no religion at all in Babylon. 0 religions in Babylon, which is just, I think you need at least paganism to deal with family happiness. You don't have to have a world religion, but you do need to have paganism. Yeah, and I think delaying aristocracy to this late is a choice. At this point, I might just take vassalage to fix my terrible wood economy because the science isn't that big a difference. And like, this is actually really, like, I have enough units. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think JCT to your chat, like onager placement was very solid. Good fort unit. Like you moved in very cautiously, very carefully. It was a great slow push. No notes really on onager and fort placement. The only thing I would note, I guess, is your opponent doesn't have horse. You've done a good job blocking. with spears. The problem is, like, if you put your onagers next to each other like this, yes, like if I can somehow get a horse in here, I can route chain through a lot of those onagers. Like this is a 4 onager route chain waiting to happen. If I can get in, which I might not be able to do. But if I can somehow force march a super horse unit behind here, this could be really painful for you. Where suddenly you lose 4 onagers. So I don't particularly love stacking onagers next to each other because it enables a route chain of them. That said, not an issue because your opponent doesn't have any horse units. So yeah, totally safe here. You're not going to get punished for this in this game. But stuff like this where you have onagers next to each other, it is kind of asking for them to get chained. Yes, I think for Babylon, tech priorities are one thing. You also had so much stuff, so many resources. Just build more improvements. It isn't a competition to see who can be the richest. And again, some of this will come with time. Like you're doing a great job. This may be an early multiplayer game for you. We really want to see players like you enjoy and playing in this community. Like please take this critique as feedback, and feedback just kind of from the best possible place. I think I speak for all the tournament organizers. Like we are here to help people enjoy the game better. So like, I thought you played splendidly. Like I loved your tactical play. Like Lagash, the attack on Lagash that let you settle Lagash. Like Maria cleared the site and you took it from them last session. That was just beautiful. Like really well done. Great tactics with the tactician. You won that fight fair and square. But just the game also has a huge eco component. And I think there was there's room to grow on the eco side. This autonomous city, that's actually your number 1 science city by quite a margin. That's not great. It's really important to invest in specialists in getting science. I really should make a how-to science video. Yeah, I think I would love to see the players close out this game. I don't think we should go to another session. This one feels very much over. Obviously, I can't say that in the chat, but brrak was like, time check, are you guys to keep going for a little while? Like, JCT is like, yes. I'm like, yes, let's close this one out. I'm not going to say let's close this one out, but yeah, the writing, I think, is on the wall. All right, brrak is back, and the timer is ticking again. Sounds good. Cool. I think JCT has this game won. Yeah, I don't think there's much that Babylon can do. Yeah, just like 7 laws to 3 laws is going to be really hard. And just don't have the economy to support the archers. So I think it was definitely the wrong play to get those archers up, and building ranges without the ability to. You're just gonna like bleed your entire money supply on wood. We do have some counterattacks here. We're gonna see some attacks here. We did lose 3 units last turn, and let's see what we can get back. Probably can at least get 1 or 2. We did lose our super unit. Our leader is no longer on a unit either. And as you can see, the problem here with why I really do not love compo without forestry is you're basically having to clear cut your entire empire to sate the wood gods. Yeah, that's a true point scientific that not everyone knows about this incredibly important tooltip. So if you ever watch my POV, you will see me hovering over this tooltip like a crazy person. Like I am always checking what my opponent has, like how many laws, how many cities, are they stronger? Obviously you don't see this part, but like, yeah, there is a lot of tooltips looting. Yeah, I understand that they want to keep the game. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough UX challenge. Like I will say, Old World's UX is orders of magnitude better than Civ 7. Like at least I can get to the info that I need. Right? So like I'm not going to. The UX has also gotten so much better since the game's release. Like it's continued to improve. They've made so many improvements. All right, so we've got some counterplay here. We've got 2 units killed, a slinger and a spearman. So unfortunately, it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to do that. And all those units are now in multiple onager fire. This is going to get really ugly really fast. I don't think you can take another unit out. Might be wrong. Yeah, that slinger was like, maybe no. Nope, axe here. Okay, you're just, this is not a great idea. You're in onager fire. Yeah. Let's see, did we move up? Where is our, here is our armored elephant. Look at this beast. That's a normal assault elephant. This is an armored elephant. It should be able to maybe reach the city, and like it can just smash that city in one turn. All right. Spreading out some axes here. Interesting. I feel like this is kind of just throwing everything you got. It's not going to work. But like at this point, if I were in Babylon's shoes, I don't feel like there's anything I have to save me. I would concede at this point. Or I might try to kill everything and then like one more turn, and then the next turn is going to be really ugly. Babylon's going to lose a lot. Like just this pile here, right? Like this onager can hit the city. This onager can hit here and splash the city. This onager can hit the city, right? The city's gone. You can splash this. Again, this is why I really love route. Even a single chariot here would be amazing. Yeah, at this point, you're just set, like route chains are so good when units get softened up, and onagers soften up units. Like, I think again, everyone's seen me play, or a lot of people see me play. Like, I love my onagers, I love my spears, and I love my route units. And like, put those three together, and like, the onagers soften everything up, the spears protect the onagers, and then the route units just clean house. And then you want to have slingers or some other ranged. I love slingers because, like, I think Scientific talks about chip damage, or like that last point of damage. It's so important to be able to do a tiny bit of damage. And yeah, one route unit, that's all you need. There's a free chariot on sovereignty for Babylon. But yeah, I think if you don't have a UU that is route, and honestly, I prefer melee route units to ranged route units. Especially ranged route units that don't have 2 range anymore. But no, Pelotons are still amazing. So it's just they kind of suck because like generally you don't run into rivers in route chains, but you will run into forests and scrub, and suddenly like you're doing a lot less damage. All right, let's see what Maria does. Head of Faith, fun issue, and then Ambassador's dead. So you do want to assign an ambassador. So this is actually a really important sort of nuance. It is worth assigning this ambassador because you're going to tick 2 families up to friendly. So they're going to go from plus 5% strength to plus 10% strength. That's going to make a big difference. You might actually want to assign this guy for 67 family opinion. Yeah, again, this is where opinion management really matters. Had you done some influencing like here, and then you assigned this guy, you could have actually had all those families friendly. Again, minor optimization. All right, here we go. Boom, onager. Boom, onager. 2 axemen already killed just with onager attacks. Boom, look, just the units are melting. Last onager attack. Boom, right? We just killed 3 units purely with onagers. We haven't even used the rest of it. And look at how order efficient that is, right? All those onagers take 1 order to do that much damage. That's like, this is why I love onagers so much, and why I think they're such a dangerous unit that you have to plan around, right? You have to have a plan for if your opponent has onagers. You have to have horse, or you have to have your own onagers. Because like, I just don't see how you can deal with critical mass of onagers that are defended if you don't have your own onagers. But that said, you do need critical mass. 1 onager is just going to fall over dead and be very sad. 2 onagers is going to fall over dead and very sad. 3 onagers, probably still not enough. But like 5, I want to say, is where it starts to be like, uh-oh, I cannot kill 5. Unless you kindly line them up for your opponent to route chain, in which case that can be very painful. All right, Maria continuing to creep up. 5 units dead. Much weaker. This should be GG here. I would love to see this assault elephant be able to like plink the city with something, and then let's see this armored elephant take the city with a force march. Should be able to do it. Wow, it can just obliterate. Like, this is the power of 8 strength units. Just obliterate. This is also why I really love 8 strength route units, because imagine you do this on a lot of units. Like, yeah, this is why Carthage remains my favorite nation, because they are the only nation with statesmen and a melee route unit. Hatti and Yuezhi also have melee route units, but do not have statesmen. Persia does not have a melee route unit. They have a ranged route unit, which is not bad either. Both of those, I think Carthage and Persia remain my favorites. Mari, I think, might be my 3rd favorite right now, even though they don't have route. So, I don't know. I'm still figuring out what my 3rd favorite is. I think I need to play around with Assyria a little bit more, because I feel like focus just should be really good. 5 units killed so far by Maurya. Brrak is down. Babylon is down to much weaker. We can see the military score is it hasn't updated yet. But yeah, Maurya did not update. They did not assign their ambassador, so they missed out on some potential damage there. Would really love to see. Oh, here we've got it. Nope, that's the assault elephant. Here's the armored elephant. Yeah, so just take that last point of health off the city with something, and then just smash that elephant. Should be able to easily clean up that archer. Hard for me to judge, but I'm pretty sure it should be able to. Unfortunately, you only have 1 force march. But Maurya doing a good job playing it safe. Like, this is great, right? Like, there's nothing Babylon can do, right? Like, this unit can't even get around, and if it does get around, it's going to do 4 damage, which is not enough to kill an onager. And like, just there's onagers in a fort. This onager's in a fort. So like, just really, really well played. Sort of a textbook slow push. Up there's the ambassador. Went for the 40 opinion guy who's younger, which makes sense. And yeah, almost enough to make this family fully happy, fully friendly. I don't love the fortify here. The reason I don't love the fortify is it's an order, and you have so many onagers beat. Like, this just ticks an order, and you're probably not going to hold this position forever. Maybe though. I don't know. Like, I think I'm bloodthirsty enough that I'd just be like, "Rawr, we're going in, clearing it out," and a route unit would have really helped with that. Sad we don't get to see it taking the city, but I don't see any counterplay available for Babylon, and hopefully we will see a GG here and can do a post-game chat, because we're approaching 3 hours, and yeah, would really, really not want them to go to another session, not in this game state. So, distant ridges results. Sweet, I get some jade. But 5 units lost. I think the graph updates at the start of next turn. Yeah, it won't update until after Babylon's turn. Yeah. Exciting conclusion. Nice little 2-parter. All right. Looks like the axes are retreating. Yeah, I think even if they do go to a 3rd session, I don't see a way for Babylon to get back from this game. But hopefully we will see a GG here soon. Like, it's never good when it's the late game, and if you look at all your military units, they fit on 1 screen, right? If I toggle over to Maurya, you see they do not fit on 1 screen. I have to scroll. Good sign. Whereas for Babylon, there's just 8 units left. 3 slingers, 2 archers, and 3 axemen. And it looks like he is retreating. He is saying, I am not going to attempt to hold this city. I'm going to get out. And thus falls Lagash. And yeah, just retreat. Retreat and try to hold the next city. But honestly, if I were Maria, I would chase, because I feel like you can take the city with 1 unit, right? Easy enough. And then probably just fight the rest of this stuff. Again, this is where route would be really nice, because all these units are very nicely bunched up for route chain. But yeah. Also 2,000 training on Babylon. Just lots of this is like running a huge bank. I maybe banks are useful if you're going to use them for something, but just building up, like it is worth banking something like before a mass upgrade, absolutely. But yeah, just having a giant bank that you don't use is not great. But yeah, really, really impressive slow push. Nicely played by JCT. Power of onagers. Makes me a little worried in our cloud game, because I don't have onagers yet. And if he shows up with onagers, I'm going to be like, uh-oh. This guy knows how to do a slow push, because I just saw it on stream. So yeah, I guess I need to prioritize machinery in that game. Yeah. Yeah, really, really nicely done by Moria. And wow, the city is still autonomous. It's also the majority of Babylon, or like a third of Babylon science. And yeah, we're just continuing to chop to try to feed. I mean, I guess Mario helped us out by killing a bunch of archers, so we don't have as much. We don't have as much wood income. Vassalage also got picked, which I think is great. That helps a little bit. But yeah, building a lot of axes, because I guess they just take iron. But I don't think it's going to matter. All right, that should be game here soon, so maybe we will see a GG soon. I just do not see anything Babylon can do. Like, this city's gonna fall, this city's gonna fall, this city's gonna fall, this city's gonna fall. Like, there's not enough production potential. He does have 4 laws, but I don't see a stronghold anywhere. Not that Sumerian archers would save you here, or Akkadian archers would save you. Just not enough stuff. Yeah, fortify. The reason I don't let fortify is this is going to waste 2 orders next turn. And like, yeah, you just burn 2 orders for nothing. All right, he took the city. Woo! Lagash has fallen. Get some wine and an opulence barrage or austerity. I hate this event so much because it forces you into taking an opulence project or austerity. You may not want austerity. Like, plus 50% is really bad. Plus 25% training is good, but like, you really don't want an opulence project. All right, so let's see what Mario does to close out this game. They've got great vision here. Love the scout placement, right? They see there's nothing coming up from Babylon, so they can just, I don't know. There's this convenient road that Babylon built. Maybe go take this city. Let's see. We got 1 scout here and 1 scout here. Probably want to move this scout over and, I don't know, look around, see what's happening. Ideally, you want to go kill the units if you can. Unfortunately, they don't have vision on those units, so I want to fix that with the scout. But this should be GG here. Yeah, just we can take a look at the mill graph. It's a pretty precipitous drop. We started that at 720 verse 1210, and we end that at 370 verse 1310. So, whoops, lost connection to server. Hopefully they will be back. 2 out of 2 disconnected. I'm going to quickly take a save, which may not work. Actually, let's see if it reconnects. It does. JCT. Yeah, there should be an autosave, worst case. But brrak, who was hosting? We both did. Do you want to rehost? Say before. All right, looks like we're gonna have a rehost here. Yeah, this game is yeah, you should, as host, you should be save. I think we just can't save without the host there, sadly. So just does nothing. So exciting position. We will resume and hopefully close this game out. Oh no. Which one? Which one is real? Try joining one and see if it works. Okay, maybe try joining the other one. Failed to join. Okay, it's the second listed one. Okay, rejoining here. Be fun cast. I gotta say, I really, really enjoy watching and casting tournament games. I think it's such the observer position is actually a really interesting way to watch the game, and I feel like I learn a lot from playing, but I also learn a lot from observing and watching casts because it shows you a different perspective. You kind of see both things at once. So yeah. So all right. See what Mario does. But this should be GG here soon. Indeed, looks familiar. Here is the armored elephant on its way. Look at this armored elephant. It can take 10 damage to the city. Wild. So 2 armored elephants can just nuke a city without walls. Bloop. And they're way easier to get to the city than... oh, armored elephant killed an archer. Assault elephant killed an archer. Yeah, so he is chasing, which is the correct call here. You do not want to let these units get back. In general, you always want to prioritize killing units over cities. There are exceptions. Disabling Sentinel, for example, if you can do it in one turn. I think we almost saw that happen in one game. But in general, like, you don't want to burn attacks into a city. You really want to take the Haradrim have arrived. We can do a close up here of this elephant. No worries. I think you're good on time. You've got tons of time banked. Salt elephant. Where is my armored elephant, bro? Right here. Armored elephant. Look at how cool that armored elephant is. So cool. So armored. So golden. Versus like normal. It's got a little bit of armor, but like that's quilt, all right? This is metal. Look at that metal on the trunk. A little bit of metal, but not the full trunk. Full trunk. All right. Cool. How will Babylon respond? Yeah. This is pretty much GG. You could, if you want, kill this elephant. Like, oh, so here's the problem. The archer does 3 damage. The axeman does 4 damage. Right? Like, elephant, so tanky. Yeah. So and of course, you've got problems here. This city is about to get onagered. So yeah, the city's gone in a second here. Alrighty. Well, this was a really exciting game, and hopefully we will see concession here soon. Because I don't see a way back. Of course, players can fight on as long as they would like, and JCT may not realize how behind he is. Presume he does, or not JCT. Sorry, brrak may not realize how behind he is, but presume he does. Yeah, he hasn't made any moves here. Totally okay to concede. Hard fought. Some beautiful tactical play. I just don't see a path back. All right, we got the tactician back on as a general. That will probably not be enough, but he still has some units left, so yeah, just don't see a way back. While we wait for this to resolve, we can take a look at some stats. National wealth 18,000, but money doesn't do everything. Total pop 36 to 35. Close on specialists. I think there's just difference. A lot more urban specialists over in Moria. Workers produced 13 to 11. Military produced 29 to 14, including 3 assault elephants and 2 armored elephants, 9 onagers, 9 slingers, and 6 spearmen versus 7 slingers, 4 axemen, and a warrior. 11 versus 8 units lost. 29. Camps, 2 longest reign, courtiers, ruins, improvements 93 to 39. 99 to 44 improvements. Worker turns 383 to 162. And 2 wonders. Mill score tells the story of the game. This one's over. And science also tells the story of the game. Almost approaching near double science. JCT just did a great job with their science economy, and orders, similarly, a huge order advantage. My rule is always like mill score graph, science graph, and orders graph. Those are the 3 most important graphs in the game. And if you're ahead in all 3 graphs, you should be feeling pretty good. It's going to be hard to lose the game when you're ahead in science and in orders and in military score. If you're ahead in just 2 out of 3, like maybe you're ahead in science and orders, but you're behind in military, you can still lose. If you're ahead in military and science, but behind in orders, you can still lose because, you don't have enough orders. You might win, but you can still lose. If you're ahead in military and orders, but behind in science, you probably will win still because military and orders is really good, but who knows? Maybe they have a 8 strength unit and you have 4 strength units, and suddenly it doesn't matter how many 4 strength units you have because, like, it is, even if you're ahead in orders, you're just not going to be able to deal enough damage. So those are the three most important graphs, I would say. Mill score, orders, and science. Obviously, the eco graphs matter as well. So I think the fourth one would be eco. So if you're ahead in actual eco income, so food-wise, Babylon's ahead. Iron, they're pretty much even. Stone-wise, well, we aggregate food, right? So Babylon's been a lot more food, a lot more iron for Maria aggregate, a lot more stone, and a lot more wood for Maria on aggregate as well. So like here is also like, this is actually really great as an illustration. Yeah, just such a huge difference. This is all the chopping that Babylon did and like cannot keep up. All right, so it looks like we're going to make a last stand at Uruk. So Anat is dead, and we'll see what Maria does here. And yeah, it is, yeah, I mean, this is pretty much GG. Maria may actually get this 1,000 wood ambition if they do some insane chopping. They've got 6 turns and they're getting 60 turns. That's, yeah, they will actually get it. Wow. They'll just make that ambition, that legacy. All right. Anat. Roar. Assault Elephant just took it. Boom. Another city down. When things start to go south, they happen pretty fast, brrak says in Discord chat. And that is very much correct. This is, yeah, I just don't, like, we can see a last stand in Iraq, but yep, no shame in conceding. Yeah, military losses definitely snowball. Like once you fall behind, it is very hard to get ahead. Line of spearmen lining up here. Yeah, trying to do a slow pan here, scientific style. Yeah. Mario now connecting the road network and moving on in and saying, hello, I see you. We are going to still slow roll here. Come in nice and safe. And brrak says the Izin family, his trader family, insists on a last stand. They are greedy that way. Very thematic. Love the role play. So it looks like Uruk will be the last stand. The Battle of Uruk coming up here in just a turn or two. I don't see a way for Babylon to hold. It is a long way, but love this road. I think Scientific will appreciate these military workers here. We've got 5 workers on the front, 6 workers on the front. We've stopped pretty much almost all improvements. There's a couple improvements somewhere around here. Some lumber mills being finished up at a farm because we actually need to fix our food deficit. Those elephants be hungry for food. Look at those armored elephants. And I think we swapped to vassalage as well. I hope, yes. Double checking. Yeah, we should. No, we're still in centralization. Definitely should swap to vassalage at this point in the game. And typical traders, says JCT. All right, this is the last stand in Uruk. We've got the heroes of Babylon. A slinger, an axe, another axe, another axe, another slinger, 2 more slingers, and then the tactician, King Amel Marduk the Gatherer, extravagant. He's sitting there in his gold-plated robe, wearing his gold-plated crown, holding his gold-plated bow with gold-plated arrows, and saying, come at me, bro, I'm in Uruk. I'm stunning. Yeah, so we will see here what Babylon does to try to bolster its defense. I don't think there's anything they can do. But again, really fun game to cast. I love the tactics here in Lagash. They did push back Moria early, but then Moria built up slowly, gradually, and then crept forward with an amazing slow push, and then just blasted open Lagash and like blasted apart the Babylonian army. You know, Abdel Maruk, he's extravagant, he's cunning, he's inspiring. He hasn't given up yet. He's going to make his final stand. But who knows? Maybe the gods will smite the Babylonian or the Marodians with some sort of calamity. But yeah, realistically, that's it. So taking a look at the stats, we'll see if we can do a post-game chat with the players. Looks like we'll just have one last stand here in Traders, and that should be game here. And we'll close out another tournament game, which I think will take us to 18 completed games or something, which is wild considering we didn't even start a week ago. It's not bad. 18 games in a week. That's pretty good. 18 matches. All righty. This is one of the disadvantages of onagers. They do require setup every single time. So like, unlike other units, they can't move and then attack. They have to move on limber, wait a turn, and then attack. So they're very immobile. I think they served well here because the map kind of had these natural chokes, but on other maps where your opponent can just go around your onagers, not so great. I think I'm playing a duel with Mojo where I have defended one city and he just decided to attack another city that I have not defended with as many onagers. I was still setting up my defenses, and I'm not going to be able to set up defenses because he surrounded the city. I'm like, uh-oh. Yes, it's been less than a week. We started on Wednesday, July 1st, and today is July 7th. Yes, it's been amazing. I've been so impressed and delighted and just really love the way the community's come together. I think we've pretty much cast almost every game. I think we might have missed one part here or there, but like it's wild. Yeah, it's been incredible, and like really love to see everyone's enthusiasm. Everyone's got great attitudes. People are like, yeah, I lost, but man, I learned so much. Or like, man, the cast was Scientific's cast was great, or Sean's cast was great, or Nestor's cast was great. I really enjoyed watching the cast of my game. I'm still, I just finished part 1, but I still got other parts. But like, it is always so cool to like see what the observers see the chat, see how people are reacting as well. Yeah, we've got a lot more games. I think it's going to be 152 total for the tournament, and we've got 18 down. So nowhere near done. And I think the quality and the scale of play is going to continue to raise as people learn, get better. I'm sure we're going to see some wild new strategies. I really am terrified of seeing that Carthage commander rush again. I do not want to face that again, dear Lord. Yeah, and I'm sure people will discover new tactics. We'll learn from each other, and then we'll just continue to see higher and higher level of play. It's really exciting. If I look back to where we were before we started the first tournament or the second tournament last year, so the original tournament was a cloud tournament, and then we did a network tournament. The cloud tournament, I think, is technically still ongoing. It never finished because people just sort of faded off. Like some games took more than a year. But the network tournament did finish, and we crowned our winner, Class Koala, of course. But if I look at before the start of that network tournament, where we were in terms of skill and like where the metagame is and compared to now, and it's like just miles different. Like if I go back and watch recordings of my own games from 2 years ago, I'm like, who is this noob? Does he think he knows what he's doing? Like, what is this? And I'm sure at the end of this tournament, when I go back and like look at my play in match 1, I'd be like, who is this noob? Does he know how to play this game? What is this, right? Because we're going to discover so much, and it's going to be so cool. All right, Moria moving in here. This is the last stand on Uruk. I think they're just going to set up a line and put some onagers up behind it. And like, what are you going to do? I love this. Like, no point rushing in. Yep. And here comes the unlimber. Would have loved to see like the workers make some roads, but it doesn't matter at this point. Force march. Yeah, the roads would have prevented the force march. And that there are workers here, but totally fine. The game's almost over. And yeah, all of these onagers these two can hit the city. The other one can hit all the units. There's literally nothing Babylon can do to this. They can't reach the onagers. Good zone of control here, right? The only way to reach the onagers is somehow kill this spear, and then somehow go here or go all the way around with like a horse unit that they don't have. So Babylon continuing its deforestation to try to feed its hungry archers. But yeah, this is going to be GG. And then of course this elephant who's come in here. This fort is not gonna land in time, And yeah, should be really fun post-game chat. And happily, I think Babylon Moria will succeed this ambition, but I would be surprised if this game makes it that far. So really, really enjoyable finish. I was lucky enough to cast this game from start to finish. So always fun to sort of see a full game. All right, Babylon's Last Stand. We've got a border boost. We've got an orders boost, which actually might be, well, you only have 8 units left, so not sure that you even, yeah, this is it. Border boost kind of a, yeah, finally, it's turn 77 border boost, guys, because aristocracy. No juggling required. Just a one cool trick, don't tech divination for like 50 turns. So, yeah. I should definitely do a video on like early tech priority. I think there's a very clear priority of at least important techs to get early. And then like you don't want to go too deep in the tech tree before getting some of the early techs. Divination is being one of them, aristocracy being another. Rhetoric, military drill, sometimes drama, labor force for sure, navigation, sovereignty is amazing, but requires kind of like mill drill. All right, the counterattack. The Babylonians striking this spearman, the linchpin of, yeah, I would have loved to like just see the art, oh wow, yeah. Instead of this archer. So very minor feedback, right? Like had you just moved this axe here, you wouldn't have needed to attack with this because axes do more damage to spears, and there is a river here. So moving on this tile would have like saved you. You would have had this guy free to attack something else. So you can kind of squeeze more damage by being efficient in that way. It's another video idea, just like combat, how to think about combat, how to plan out combat, how to plan out outchains, how to... The combat is so simple and yet so deep in this game. It's just a thing of beauty. Honestly, I think you could do like a tactical game that is just like, forget about everything else about Old World. It's just tactics on like a hex grid and be like, your job is to like, here's your army, face this guy's other army and win and fight. And here's some terrain because it's just such an interesting tactical thing. And it's super simple, but also super complicated because there's so many modifiers. I really love the sort of rock, paper, scissors between spears beating chariots, yeah, routing, and thus eventually beating everything that isn't a spear. And then axes eating spears alive, and archers, of course. Like it's just beautifully designed. All right. The Battle of Kadesh scenario. Cool. I have not played the scenarios despite playing this game for 6 years at this point. I think I started playing in 2020, I want to say. Something like that. So, yeah. I don't think I played too many scenarios. Let's see. My first post, yeah, was March 24th, 2020. The pandemic has just started like 9 days ago. So that was my first post on the one of the discords about Old World. So yeah, wild. So yeah, I've been playing this game for 6 years. It is my number one Steam played game by some margin, and somehow the game continues to be deep and interesting and intricate and just a joy to play, and just hats off to Soren and the Mohawk team. Like it's just a really well designed game, and I think it deserves a lot more attention and many more players than it has, and that's part of the reason I pour so much time and love into these tournaments. I think the game deserves to have a lot more players than it does. The quality of the game is excellent. It's deeply thoughtful, really well balanced, hard to optimize. There's no easy answers. And yeah, it definitely deserves a lot more players. All right. So that is Babylon's Last Stand, and Going down in a blaze of glory. We did get hydraulics. We will fulfill the wood ambition next year or this year if you want to chop. And yeah, this is going to get really ugly here. The onagers are attacking. Look at all that splash damage. And now I think we can just clean it up here with the rest of the forces. Ideally, you want to position something here to get this. Yeah, boom. No, that is the armored elephant, just one-shotting stuff. Panic is a little tricky, honestly. I find Panic to be a really technical, like it is, like generally units will move opposite from where they are, and then otherwise they'll kind of like bust out, I think, clockwise. I don't know. It is worth like, yeah, this is it. 3 units dead. Really nicely done. Last stand at brrak. Free horse archer. Sure, why not get some units? Doesn't matter. Game is over. And then Panic, of course, disrupts Fortify. Throws people out of forts. So good. Yeah, I like how these spears are just protecting the onagers. And then, yeah, we have this armored elephant that never quite fully made it all the way over. Yeah, pulling units forward. This is it. Really exciting and fun finish here. This session is clocking in at 3.5 hours right now, and hopefully it will close out here shortly. And the last session was right around there as well. So 6-7 hours for the game. Not too bad. And they did play on the slow timer. So yeah, really nice performance from JCT. And hats off to brrak for an amazing tactical play when the site was getting cleared. It was just really, really nicely done. Took Moria a couple years, a couple decades to get that city site back, but they did do it. And we have border boost discovered. And yeah, just trying to whittle something down. It's unclear if they will be able to kill a unit. Like these archers just don't do very much damage against assault elephants, and really don't do much damage against armored elephants. And these onagers are just gonna do a lot of damage. But this is the last stand. There's no retreat from here. And yeah. I think Panic will push it into this tile. If okay, well, yeah. we see workers upgrading the militia. A true last stand here. "13 orders left for Babylon. No military units left." This is the running out of units problem. Yeah, exciting, fun game. Some nice back and forth in the middle. And then I think just superior science and eco and family opinion management from JCT, probably from more experience. But might have been both players' first network game. I think JCT has played some cloud games. I'm not sure. So we'll see what we can learn in the post-game chat. Feel free to post any questions in chat that you would like to ask our players. And I assume Orak will fall, and we will see a GG once that happens. Next turn. Ironically, family is happier than ever. All right. Resume. Yeah, just route unit would actually speed this up quite a bit because you could just chain through a bunch of this stuff. But it is not long. Indeed, we can take out the city here. Looks like the elephant is going to do that. And then I have another elephant somewhere. Yeah, this guy can just come here and like take the city, and that is it. The armored elephant can move in and take out the city. Yeah, route chain would be really, really nice. Five units dead. Cool. Well, I enjoyed casting this game. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. We'll get the players to see if they would like to do a post-game chat. Yeah, there is Uruk. All right. And he killed the last archer. Yeah, good force march here. I'm pretty sure Auric has fallen, my friend. That is it. All right, just waiting for brrak to surrender here, and we will do the post-game call. Yep, just need brrak to surrender. Definitely seems like this is pretty much it. Zero chance of recovery here, given that he has 2 military units that are both militia. So Gorg's fallen, elephants rampage through the streets. Indeed, they do. Very pretty armored elephants. There we go. There's the GG. And I will start a voice call. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Congratulations, JCT. Well fought, brrak.
Yeah, that was a
nice
lot of
game.
fun.
Really love the skirmishing in the middle there.
Yeah, that was a fun battle.
Yeah, some nice tactics from brrak to steal the city site, and then eventually you got it back.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
definitely got caught there. You caught me without too many units in the middle.
Right, I saw you sneaking up, and I thought, okay, this might be an opportunity to try to get out a little in front of myself, and but I just don't think I had the economic engine to really keep it going. So it was fun though.
Yeah, very curious to watch the commentary and definitely
tried to
the tournament as an overall learning experience. So
tried to be kind and of course point out things that I thought went well and things that maybe not so well. But overall, just really love to see the honor to slow push from you, JCT, and I really loved the tactical play over the site from brrak. I thought that was just brilliantly executed. You had just JCT had kind of extended a little bit too far without quite enough units, and you saw that and punished him for it. Curious, actually, a couple questions that I had. Like, you made peace with the Danes, while you were on their site about to kill them. I was a little confused by that. Tell me what happened.
I was confused by that too. That was I was wondering whether or not events triggered if you were in multiplayer and you let a turn flip, because I have no idea how that actually happened.
So I think what happened is your son married a Danish princess and got peace, but okay, you hadn't resolved the event, and that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was very confused. So,
I was too, to be fair.
Yeah, just general multiplayer advice is always do your events first. You don't have to resolve them, but you should at least look at them, because sometimes they might have consequences that are usually beneficial, but sometimes you don't want to resolve an event until as late as possible. So
yeah, that was a little awkward, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if it was a game-changing moment, but it was definitely
it wasn't, but it was just like your troops were there ready to kill the Danes, and it's hey, we've got a new daughter-in-law. Woo! Celebrate this Danish prince. Like what? Like what?
And then when I finally decided to get rid of her, she got punished and then she killed herself. It was classic.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my gosh! Yeah, she was married to me because my
Yeah.
guy he died, and then
Yeah.
so she became the queen. And then when I declared war on the Danes, yeah, she committed suicide. So
Oh no!
yeah,
It's so
and
dark.
once I wiped them out, it was a little
That is a
it was
little
tough.
dark. I didn't know that event
Yeah,
existed.
it was pretty dark.
Yeah, JCT, I really loved your slow push with the onagers. Just relentless, calm, careful.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I need a little bit of practice in kind of that first line of forts. I also feel like I got caught without quite enough melee units. Like I was a little worried about all those axes when I just had spears. I kind of hadn't thought a little bit about needing a stronger front line. But yeah, I mean, onagers, that was definitely one of the lessons from watching some of the tournament games from the last year's tournament, and feel like I took that to heart.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
they were so effective, right? As a newer player, it's interesting to see just how many things you don't either remember or that you rely on, like looking them up or having a lot of time to like decide upon, and then when the clock's on,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So
The
it's
game.
kind of friend, yeah, it's
Go
fun
ahead.
though.
Yeah, the game requires a lot of juggling. Even like network, of course, you're on time pressure, right? Like, so in my own duel, I was like, I should build culture in my rider's seat. And then like 50 turns later, I'm like, 0 culture in the rider's seat. Whoa, shit. Like, how did this happen? What? Okay, I need to fix this now. But like, why didn't I just freaking build a shrine there? Like, all right, I don't have divination. So, yeah, especially once battle is on and you've made contact with your opponent, it becomes really hard. I thought I was impressed that you were able actually to clear that Danish site, and I think JCT you saw when brrak went northwest. You had a scout and you kind of were watching him clear it, and I was wondering if you were going to try to attack Lagash then and like put him at a really awkward spot where like he's half clearing a site, but then like you're attacking him. So
I thought about it. That was a place where I felt like I was a little short on orders to really make that
yeah,
happen. Um, in particular because that choke point with the marshes and like,
yep,
you
yeah, it's hard to get through there. The
road,
desert. Yep.
couldn't couldn't road through that sand. Like it just that
I actually
I
didn't know that
I definitely
mechanic. I don't know if
considered
you
that a
guys saw
possibility.
that, but
Yes, I saw your road right to the sand, and then you're like, oh,
oh
oh,
crap. There's no
well,
roads here.
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
just
that
get
was, I think, as a beginner, that was like, you learn a few things, but like this really teaches you a few things. Like
yes.
I will now remember that.
You'll remember you cannot road on sand. So
You can now road on that. There's a couple
yeah,
And
things, yeah.
that was one of the only times that I felt like I actually had decent scouting, in part because it was just right there, and I had kept that scout in the middle. But there were a number of times where in particular, when you got the center site to begin with, that was
Right.
I got a little distracted because the I don't remember which tribe it was that was raiding you, and
The
the
Thracians,
Thracians.
maybe.
I
Yeah.
think because the Thracians, like that site got eliminated, the raiders moved a little bit randomly, and so I moved my
It-
scout south for just a second because
yeah.
I was worried that there was like a city site down there that I just hadn't found, or I didn't know what was going on, and then just realized that was I think that was the AI making some strange moves as a result of not having a site to defend, and that little kind of scouting mistake definitely hurt a lot because it guaranteed basically that I was going to be out of position. But I had to kill. I figured it was worth killing the chariot since I figured that was a tech unit, and um, the routing was the thing that was. I was worried about that given how small my army was at that point. I was pretty worried that it could get routed into oblivion.
Yeah, no, that was the right call to focus the chariot. Yeah, I think what had happened was brrak had done a tribal invasion. Like the Thracians had declared a tribal invasion, which was
Yeah,
really
right.
convenient for you, JCT, because I think you were about to attack Gujarat, which was a tribal camp, Thracian camp, and like they all moved off to go attack that
Oh,
one.
no, I thought for a second I was like, oh, this is great, because now there are fewer defenders, but that ended up working a little bit both ways in the sense that like I exposed myself because I didn't see exactly how many units were
And let me just say,
available for brrak.
Earthquake and Sandstorm. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't played enough. I actually never run into either of those in a game, and to get them both in the same one was kind of funny.
yeah, they're part of the.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
if you have the Wrath of the Gods DLC. The calamities are part of that.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't. Yeah, I guess I just haven't played enough to really tease out all the. It's such a deep game. I really do
it
enjoy
is a
it.
really deep
So
game. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, that sandstorm was pretty unlucky
it was
there.
really
Pretty
timely.
pretty
Like I
pretty classic.
obviously
Just
annoyed some
yeah.
god because the sandstorm came at a super opportune time.
Yeah, no,
I,
that I had to kind of chuckle to myself, just like the gods were smiling on me for that one.
yeah, the Zoroastrians. I think my leader converted soon after that to Zoroastrianism. So
Cool. Any other questions or comments you either of you have for each other, or want to share about the game on stream?
I guess I had a question about there were a couple tech choices, mostly in session one,
Hmm.
where I went back and forth a little bit. And just was curious. I mean, I'll go back and listen to the commentary. I imagine there are some thoughts about that, but um, citizenship over border boost was one that I struggled with. I was a little worried that I would be economically constrained. My city spots in my powerful cities were pretty tight. But I also felt like I was pretty starved for orders, kind of needed to, but then I also hadn't spread Hinduism enough. I don't know. A couple of those points, I was sort
Yeah.
of curious if you felt like I had gone decisively in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think Border Boost is a choice. Like, I think it's certainly worth grabbing if you have it. Usually, unless it completely just grabs nothing. But like, I think you ended up not grabbing it, right? Or you did grab it? I don't remember.
I did. I
You
I
did grab it.
ultimately decided against it in
You
part
did.
because I figured that, um, I I mean, it ended up being that colonies was a pretty inefficient way to try and make up for some of that lost
Yeah,
territory. But
yeah. No,
that was that
Border
was my.
Boost.
I was like, if I can get that eventually, like it'll be okay. I had not had a situation like that where border boost had come up so late,
Yeah,
and so it felt both worth it, but maybe not. Like it was
it,
strangely timed, and so I
yeah.
just wasn't quite sure
In
what to do
general,
with that.
Border Boost late is actually quite good because then you get more cities for it, right? Like, so it's 6 tiles per city, and it can chain in weird, fun ways. So it actually can grab more than 6 tiles. But in general, like, I would almost always grab Border Boost. I think the exceptions are be as Carthage. Like, if I only have one city or 2 cities, I might just say skip Border Boost. But even then, I might juggle to get it on 3 cities or something. It is really nice, especially on the seats that generally you're going to be building the most for. So you really want to have the most tiles for. Like, you don't want to run out of tiles. And colonies, as you saw, is a really inefficient way of buying tiles. But then citizenship, I think on orders, one of my favorite things, and it's common for people to do, is you take polytheism. You get monasticism to get the polytheism law. You put a shrine in every city, and then then you swap it to monotheism. So your state religion gets you orders. So now you have a shrine in every city, and then your state religion, hopefully, in every city. And then you tech citizenship, and you get divine rule, and you get a order per year per pagan religion, which now you have a shrine in every city, so every city is giving you an order. And ideally you have your other religion or your main religion, which might be your pagan religion. Since Hinduism, I think you went divine rule, then you get an order from that. So then, like, it's a big order boost.
It really, I had sort of actually thought about that path. Like I've definitely seen and done a little bit of combination like that. I was really stalled in some of my early religion choices because I don't know if you saw or commented on this, but the the Zorro head, I had never seen this
Hated your
event.
guts. Yeah. That was
Oh my
really
God.
unlucky.
There was some event that was like, oh, you can choose to take, it was like a random personage appeared. You can choose to take them as a lover, I think. And I like spurned the advances. And then that person, a
Became
turn or two
Zorro
later
head.
showed
Yeah,
up as the head
yeah.
of Soros. Like, Oh, I don't really know what to do here,
that's when it's great
I
to have
thought
a
about founding Buddhism. I don't know. I didn't know quite
yeah.
what to do
So
with
in
that.
situations like that, it's really great to tech portfolio and then use a spy master for the assassination mission to remove that person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I had never seen that event either. I think it might be new with Indus. And yeah, that was just really unfortunate. It's really it's bad when like your Zoro head is your religion has the opposite type as you, and that was really bad because they just hated your guts. It was like, oh no.
Yeah. That was
And
rough.
you can't imprison. So you can imprison to remove a family head, but you can't like you can imprison a religious head, but they stay religious head. So
I remembered from the first tournament watching some people imprison religious heads, and then it's like, well, they're they're
they're
they're
now in
still
prison
just
and they're
hating
just
on you
angry
to
at you.
imprison.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, they're just
Right.
that much
yeah,
angrier, and they're sticking around forever. So that I knew not to do. I knew that prison was not an option, but I was kind of like,
yeah.
I didn't know if Buddhism would be a distraction. I don't know. That was the religion stuff after the Zoro had hated me was the thing that I had the hardest decision about. Didn't really know what to do to cope with that situation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think sometimes assassination is the only thing, or you just tough it out and wait for the next head, which eventually they did love you. So, um, yeah, cool. Any other
Yeah.
questions or thoughts?
No, I mean, I think it's interesting as a more beginner player on this. I mean, it reminds me of sort of like a Paradox game where, 500, 300, you can have hundreds of hours into it and you still
Yep, there's
feel
still
like
more to learn.
you're
Yeah,
being surprised. And so you have to like focus on what you know and try to like just slowly add in the new things that,
yeah.
try them out.
It
So,
has a lot of layers. I think it's a hard game to learn just because everything is
yeah.
related to everything else. But I think that's also what makes the game so beautiful because everything is related to
Yeah.
everything else. And when you learn like the 10 or so small, relatively simple subsystems, and they all interact with each other, and there's always new interactions to
Yeah.
discover, like opinion influences family opinion, right? And family opinion influences unit strength and maintenance, right? Like, so there's just everything's interconnected in
Yeah.
really beautiful ways.
Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was trying to focus on a few of the concepts that I knew, and then try not to like get too overwhelmed
Yep.
by the ones that I didn't. And multiplayer was obviously interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
hopeful. Yeah,
this was round one, so we've got a couple more
yeah,
rounds of switch. So I think next round, JCT will face off against someone who also won their first game, and you will face off brrak against someone who lost their first game. So hopefully it'll
right.
be
So
sort of a closer skill. And after that, there's another round, and like we'll do that the same way, and then you'll keep going until you have 3 losses or 3 wins. And if
and
you hit 3 wins, then you're in the round of 32, and everyone starts over basically. It's a single elimination. So
yeah, super
Sweet.
friendly. I really enjoyed it. Alcaraz, thanks so much for uh, casting the game, and it was super
of
fun.
course. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the cast. I tried to be as educational as I could be. Um, yeah.
No,
So,
thank you so much, Brack. Great game, and Alcaraz, thank you very much for taking on a relatively inexperienced game as a caster. I've enjoyed watching a bunch of the early tournament games, and just really cool to have the experienced players be willing to spend that much time watching us stumble through some of the more complicated multiplayer choices. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for
awesome.
sure.
Take care. All the best. And congrats again, JCT, and good luck in the rest of the tournament to both of you.
All right, thanks.
Likewise.
Take care. Bye. And that's it for the stream. Have a good evening.